If you've ever started the countdown towards Thanksgiving, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Today is going to be, let's just call it the Ondas edition. Just kidding. Today is going to be the Thursday, November 13th edition. We're going to cover the news that's going on out there. We got our Futures Forward segment here today. We had some more earnings. We have some Flutter news. We have some movers, so we got some stuff to go through here today. The government is reopened. What does that mean next for the markets? We are going to discuss that. We are going to look at that. And above all, we are going to trade. We're going to have a great Thursday here with the group. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook for Thursday, November 13th, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Wednesday evening. I know I did, watching some hockey games last night. Oh, my Blackhawks couldn't get the win. We still did pretty well. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. And I hope that y'all are ready for another good day. Cad Monkey is first here today. Good morning, Cad Monkey. Early bird gets the worm. Cad Monkey getting it done. Brian, good morning. Good to see you again. Looks like you guys were already talking about donuts. Thankfully for me, I missed that. So now I can just pretend that we didn't talk about donuts, and then I won't want one. That'll be my strategy for today. Hope that y'all enjoy that. Producer, locked in, doing good work as always, and we appreciate you. Richard Judge, good morning. Welcome back. Zach, good morning. Welcome back. Ryan, great name. Good morning. Welcome back. Tara, good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Jane, good to see you again as well. Kelly, good morning. Sun-kissed Yogi, good morning. Nancy, good morning. Big Dave, good morning. Yes, that girl, good morning. Marty, good morning. Welcome back. Yassine, good morning. It's good to see you as always, boss. Bill, welcome back. Marty, welcome. Neville, good morning. Kimmy, good morning. Welcome back. Big Bees, good morning. Welcome back. Dara, it's good to see you again as well. Cam, Day Trader, who else am I missing there? Big Bear Hug, good morning. Random Guy. Good morning, Random Guy. Thanks for joining us on this random morning. Yeah, Ondas. So I do see that the earnings are out. I do see that it's popping. Wonderful. That's what we had hoped for, right? That's absolutely fantastic. I haven't gone through the report yet. Just kind of looking at this. Looks like they guided pretty well, right? And it looks like the sales beat estimates. And remember, we've got that headline about drones, the U.S. government buying like 500,000 drones annually. So should be good. I'll look through that report when I get some time and I'll give you some of my thoughts. I know I got asked for that yesterday, so I'll do that again. Obviously, with this coming out right as the show is starting, I didn't have time to read that, but I will do that for you. Nice to see us trading up here as opposed to getting absolutely smacked down. That's always a good thing. Ezra, good morning. Welcome back. Anthony, good morning. Welcome back. Angelito and Tom, good morning. Welcome back. Billy, it's good to see you as always. Alan wants to talk about Open Door. I'm sure we'll look at Open here today. Good morning and welcome. Blazed Rhino, welcome back. Just passing through, welcome back. Kenneth, welcome back. JJ, it's good to see you again. G-Cord, welcome back. Jimmy, welcome back. Blessed Trader, good morning. Have a blessed day. I'll try. You're a personal trainer, right? I actually have some questions for you. If you don't mind. Blessed by the best. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's an awesome handle. Good morning. Marley, I think, or Marie, excuse me. Marie, I apologize. Good morning. Welcome. Whisk, good morning. Knights Lance, good morning. Candy, good morning. Lion Atlas, good morning. New Vici, good morning. Buffalo by Bicycle, it's great to see you. Grateful. Heart, good morning. Empyrean, good morning. Good to see you, Empyrean. Best Life, good morning. Bernhard, it's good to see you as always. Chris, welcome back. Johnny, welcome back. Miss Lucy, welcome back. Linda, good to see you again. And Keith, good morning. Welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our stock market today. All right, futures under a bit of pressure here today after yesterday's session. S&P futures down 0.2% here ahead of the open. Dow futures down 0.12%, and the NASDAQ futures down 0.2%. So definitely a little bit of pressure here, but not crazy in either direction, frankly. All right, let's take a look at some cues from last session here. Most sectors on the S&P 500 closed on a positive note, with healthcare, financials, and material stocks recording the biggest gains on Wednesday. President Trump signed the short-term funding bill on Wednesday, right after the House passed it to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Yay, it's over. Great. Bringing an end to the political stalemate. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.08%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.57%. Now, we do have some stocks in focus here. The first one, and just like yesterday, is going to be Cisco, ticker CSCO. That jumped 7.04% in the pre-market on Thursday after reporting upbeat financial results for the first quarter. They reported that last night here. We take a look at Cisco. The EPS was $1. That beat the 98-cent estimate, so a 2-cent beat there. Sales were $14.88 billion, and that beat the $14.76 billion estimate. So a small beat there, and it traded up. The one takeaway that I have here, and I'd love to get your folks' thoughts on all of this, on like what this means for these individual stocks, but also some others. You know, we saw CoreWeave report good earnings. They were down 16%. We see Cisco basically report slightly better than Inline, and they're up 7%. So I think this is probably the picks and shovels angle of the AI and data center trade that we have been talking about. I'd like to expand on that a little bit more. The second stock in our list here today is going to be Disney. That's ticker DIS. And that's actually down here now. Disney was 0.29% higher ahead of its earnings scheduled to be released before the opening. Analysts were expecting 104 per share on revenue of $22.75 billion. Now, I actually don't have that here in my note sheet, but let me grab that here for you real quick. Oh, it's Thread, so I can't find it easily. Oh, there we go. Disney EPS of 111 beat that 104 estimate, and sales were 22.46 billion. That slightly missed the estimate. Disney here actually at the lows about 111 here. Impulse low broke us beneath 111. Looks like we're going to retest that. The conference call should be starting here very soon. The next stock on our list here is going to be Applied Materials. This is ticker AMAT. They were up 0.55% as analysts are expecting earnings of $2.10 per share on revenue of $6.67 billion. Next stock on our list here is going to be Sound Thinking. That's ticker SSTI. That fell 3.32% after reporting worse than expected third quarter financial results and cutting its full year 25 sales guidance below estimates. The next stock that we have on our list, and our final stock on the list here, is D-Local. Ticker here is DLO, D-L-O. That tumbled 11.37% despite beating third quarter estimates as gross profit margins declined from to 37% from 42% in the same quarter last year and 39% in the previous quarter. All right, let's take a look at the SPY chart, get a feel for where we're at, a lay of the land, as you might say. Yesterday, we actually did backtest this little trend line that originated here at the top of the candle on October 30th. So I know that on Tuesday, we got our first close above the trend line. That was great. We were strong in the pre-market yesterday. We actually did get a second close above this trend line, but if you look inside, we actually backtested the trend line. So if we do look inside here on the SPY chart, we take a look at yesterday, you can see we didn't quite touch it. That might just be the way that I drew it, to be completely honest with you. We basically traded down towards that trend line. Buyers stepped in, couldn't take us to any highs. We did kind of close at that same area, or roughly that sideways area. Now today, again, in the pre-market here, we're a little bit weak. We'll see if the SPY rolls over and tests this. The level to keep in mind here, 681, right? We'll see if the stock can stay above 681, maybe turn back up, take out yesterday's intraday highs, which were just about 685. These will be a couple of the key levels that I'm looking for here. Looking to the upside, if we continue to trade to the upside, I would think that the mid-level of the channel here, 690-ish, maybe you see a little bit of resistance there, but the big spot that I'm looking at for is going to be this all-time high of 689.70. So about at 30-cent range from the actual all-time high to that 690 level. See if we have the chance to break out from that. On the downside, we still have the 20-day at 677.5, so that should support us, or if we break beneath it, maybe that would set up a recapture there. Your 50-day down at 668 here on the SPY. All right, let's take a look at some insights from analysts. BlackRock holds an overweight view on U.S. equities. This positive outlook is supported by the firm's economic forecast. BlackRock notes that a softening labor market gives the Fed space to cut interest rates, and they think rate cuts amid a notable slowing of activity without recession should support U.S. stocks and the AI theme. The AI build-out is a central component of BlackRock's market view. I think the key takeaway there is that if we see any cracks in the AI story, some of these market views might also change pretty quickly. So anyway, the AI build-out is the central component of BlackRock's market view, while acknowledging that policy-driven volatility and supply-side constraints are pressuring growth. The firm states, we see AI supporting corporate earnings. This earnings outlook is key to justifying the market's position, as BlackRock finds that U.S. valuations are backed by stronger earnings and profitability relative to other developed markets. On the fixed income side, the firm maintains a neutral view on U.S. Treasuries. Commentary also notes that the largest ever U.S. government shutdown will likely delay the release of key economic data, including CPI and retail sales. So we'll see what kind of impact this actually has in the December meeting. By then, everything should be back up. Seems like the big question here is, what about some of the missing data? Are we going to get it? Is it going to matter? And how is that going to play into the rate decision that we are anticipating or waiting for in December? Here's what investors will be keeping an eye on. We'll just go through this here real quick. October's CPI and initial jobless claims for the latest week will be delayed despite the government reopening. New York Fed President John Williams will speak at 9:20, and the St. Louis Fed President Alberto Musalem will speak at 12:15. Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack will speak at 12:20, and Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic will speak at 3:20. The monthly U.S. federal budget will be out by 2 Eastern. Crude oil futures are trading lower in the early New York session by 0.29%. They're hovering around 58 right now, actually 58.98. They're actually up a little bit from the time of this article's printing. The gold spot U.S. dollar rose 0.84% to hover around 4,233 per ounce. Its last record high stood at 4,381.6 per ounce. The U.S. dollar index spot was 0.31% lower at the 99.182 level. Okay, now, government shutdown. On Wednesday night, the House of Representatives passed a short-term funding bill to end the longest ever government shutdown in U.S. history, bringing an end to the 42 days of political stalemate. The House approved the stopgap measure after the Senate reached a bipartisan deal earlier in the week, paving the way for President Trump to sign it into law. That came from the Associated Press. The White House is set to hold a bill signing ceremony in the Oval Office. They did that last night. Mike Johnson said, quote, "My friends, let's get this done," shortly before the vote. The shutdown, which began on October 1st, stemmed from a partisan dispute over extending enhanced tax credits that help 20 million Americans and uncountable amount of legal immigrants to afford health insurance through the Affordable Care Act marketplace. Senate Republicans agreed to give Democrats a December vote on extending the subsidies in exchange for support to reopen the government. So we talked a little bit about UNH and some of the other healthcare companies yesterday, and I thought 13 brought up a really good point here. All that's been agreed to right here is the vote extending the subsidies. So we probably still want to see some more what actually comes out of that before we can make a longer term decision. I believe, let's see how they're doing here this morning. Let me pull this up here real quick. UNH, this closed at 339.06 and it's at 340.5 here this morning. So after yesterday's strong day, it's held that area and held those gains into the pre-market today. We'll see if we get any trading opportunities on any of these names. I know that the thought here was, generally speaking, long on these healthcare names, especially UNH after the Buffett stake. And after the big drawdown. I know CNC was another popular one. Humana was another one that we've talked about. Now that we have a little bit more clarity on this, maybe that will make for some pretty good options trades. We can ask Anne-Marie about that tomorrow. Stock futures ended higher on Wednesday. Oh, we already talked about the futures there. Sorry about that. Let me save some time here. Okay, now here's another story here. This one is wild. And I definitely want to know. What you folks think about this. Are you trading around any of this? What does this mean to you? To me, when I was reading the story, it was kind of funny because I know Mark Petrino got trolled a little bit last week when he said that institutions might not really care or know who Michael Burry is. Here we go. Michael Burry, the investor who rose to fame for his prescient bet, against the 2008 housing market, and most recently his bets against Palantir and Nvidia, has deregistered his hedge fund, Cyan Asset Management. Data from the SEC Investment Advisor Public Disclosure, the IAPD website, confirms the firm is not currently registered. The public database shows Cyan's registration as an investment advisor was officially terminated on November 10th of 2025. That was 3 days ago. The termination filing clarifies a confusing timeline that recently captivated financial media. The shutdown process began internally with Burry sending a letter to the investors on October 27th, as seen on multiple posts online. In it, he stated, quote, "With a heavy heart, I will liquidate the funds and return capital by year's end." For anyone that actually wants to go through this, there's a bunch of great links in here, and as well as some of the screenshots from what he's actually doing here. Part of me wonders what happened. He likes to have some jokes with this. I think it's kind of funny. I'm personally not put off by any of this stuff. This was followed by Cyan's final mandatory 13F filing on November 3rd. SEC regulations require funds managing over $100 million to disclose their positions within 45 days of the quarter's end. Cyan had to fulfill this requirement for its third quarter activity, even while planning its closure. It was this final backwards-looking report that triggered a wave of news about his large bearish positions. Now, I'm really glad that we talked to Tim Melvin about this yesterday, because he did a really good job based on the date of the filings and the window of which those filings were filed. He made a really good point. Like, we don't know when he bought these exactly, and we don't actually know what happened here for it, but interesting to see this happen nonetheless. Curious to see if any of you folks are trading Nvidia or Palantir or maybe some other tech-related stocks because of this. You'll have to let me know. The 13F filing details holdings as of September 30th. It showed a significant put option on Palantir, which was reported as a $912 million bearish bet. Burry, in a rare public clarification on November 13th, blasted these reports. He posted on X that he spent $9.2 million on the options, not the $912 million notional value that had been reported. I can't help it. I can't help it. This to me seems funny. So I like how he describes things as doodads too. Maybe that's something I'll try in the future. Again, all of these tweets linked in the article I threw there in the chat. By terminating his SEC registration, Burry no longer required to file these public 13Fs, effectively ending the public's ability to track his positions. That should be fun. We'll see if he still tweets about stuff like that. This move also suggests the possibility of Cyan Asset Management being converted into a private family office, allowing Burry to manage his own fortune away from the public eye. Now, I don't know how you folks feel, but if this were me, and I was in his position, this is exactly the way that I would want to go. So like, I read this and I think, yeah, that's actually really appealing. That's kind of what I would do. Maybe that's all that's going on here. In any case, let me know what you think here about Burry's position, about where we go here. I guess that's most important. Where do we go here in Nvidia and Palantir? Do we have some more downside? Do we think the market is going to really kind of raise the tide for everything? Curious to hear what you folks think about that. Cool. All right. Next here is going to be Cisco. Let's actually start with the Cisco chart. All right. So we talked a little bit about this. This was one of the stocks in focus here today. Cisco 78.94, big break. And actually, I think I don't have enough. Oh, yes, I do this morning. Perfect. Look where we're approaching. Right before the 2000, the internet bubble here. Geez, right before, we are basically coming back up to that area. I'm curious to see if we break out from here. Does this actually represent a really, really long double top, or do we break out from this level? Oh, man, that should be fun. Cisco here, obviously reporting some really good earnings. Let's go through that here real quick. They reported financial results for the first quarter of fiscal 2026 after the market closed on Wednesday. They posted fiscal first quarter revenue of $14.88 billion, which beat the analyst estimates of $14.77 billion. The networking equipment maker reported first quarter adjusted earnings of $1 per share, despite beating analyst estimates of 98 cents per share, excuse me. Total revenue was up 8% year over year as product revenue increased 10% and services revenue increased by 2%. Product revenue growth was fueled by a 15% increase in networking and a 6% increase in observability. Security product revenue was down 2% year over year, and collaboration product revenue fell 3%. Cisco generated $3.2 billion in cash flow from operations during the quarter, down 12% year over year. The company ended the quarter with $15.7 billion in cash equivalents, and investments. Quote, we had a solid start to fiscal 2026, and Cisco is on track to deliver our strongest year yet. That came from Chuck Robbins, chair and CEO of Cisco. He goes on to say the widespread demand for our technologies highlight the crucial role of secure networking and the value of our portfolio as customers move to quickly unlock the potential of AI. Cisco's board declared a quarterly dividend of 41 cents per share payable on Jan 21, 2026 to shareholders of record as of Jan 2, 2026. The company also said it repurchased approximately 29 million shares of its common stock during the quarter for $2 billion. Cisco had $12.2 billion remaining on its share repurchase authorization at the quarter's end. Cisco sees second quarter revenue in range of $15 billion to $15.2 billion versus the estimates of $14.63 billion. The company anticipates adjusted earnings for the second quarter of $1.01 to $1.03 per share versus the estimates of 99 cents per share. Cisco also raised its fiscal 26 guidance. The company now expects full year revenue of $60.2 billion to $61 billion, up from a prior guide of $59 to $60 billion. The company raised its full-year adjusted earnings guidance to a range of $4.08 to $4.14 per share. That was up from a prior range of $4 to $4.06 per share. Analysts are looking for full-year revenue of $59.68 billion and full-year earnings of $4.04 per share. So I guess the big question that I have, and I'm going to ask David this too. I'll ask David about the chart and a trade here. Who trades Cisco? Does anyone hold Cisco from like a long time ago? Let me know. Let me know what the trade here is on Cisco. New one, closing old ones. Where are we going with this going forward? Do you believe that this is a huge player in the picks and shovels for the AI and data center names? But as we were just taking a look at on the chart here, it does kind of feel extended. So I guess the way that I would attack this is, are we looking for this on a pullback? You will all have to let me know. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our futures forward segment here. Let's go ahead and bring on. Oh, well, actually, let me hit the graphic first. David, good morning. Happy Thursday. How you doing, boss?
Ryan, how are you? My first question is, do we have a CPI number coming out at 8:30? Because I know the times are screwed up and the government shut down, so I don't think we do.
No, we do not. It will be delayed. It will be delayed. I actually just covered that, though. Good question, though, but no, we are not getting that here today.
Perfect.
The good news is that it looks like the government shutdown is ending here, so we should be getting back to normal. My question, I guess, is how long is this going to take to actually get back to normal?
Exactly. I don't know. We'll see if we get any kind of bop when they officially end it. It shouldn't take too long after they get back to work. It shouldn't take too long to get back to normal. But, Ryan, what's normal? What's normal?
You tell me, boss. I've been wondering that myself.
I don't know. Just trade what they put in front of us. That's the bottom line, right?
So speaking of trading what we put in front of us, what do you see here? I guess we should probably start with the ES, right? Just start with the overall market.
Yep. So right now we're kind of sitting in nowhere's land. We do have an order out right now down at 62.50. That is both our previous day low and a pivot point. If we spike down 12 points from here, we're always looking for at least a 10-point move in these things before we get involved in a trade. But let's look overall and see where we are on the SPYs daily and all that stuff right now. That's just a little trade that we have out. Gold, we have a couple of orders out right now. Also, those are the two we concentrate on most. Gold, we put a little double top at 42.50 and a bid down on our strongest EMA, our 200 EMA. Let's take a look at the SPYs, see where we are, daily, weekly. Again, I mean, we're hanging 1.5% below all-time highs, right? Had this big dipsy doodle, almost tested our 65 EMA in the daily, but we've regained our trend line in the SPYs. So no reason not to think that when we get this stuff settled, we start heading back towards new highs again. The chart looks good. First support level is about 67.80, 68.80. And well, we're not far from that. So that could be a little spot we look at this morning. If we go to the daily chart, okay, our 9 EMA is 679. So we're only a couple of points away from that right now. So what we'll do is, just in case, we'll throw a little marker out in the SPYs. And I do have some people who trade the spiders. It's down 2 points from here, almost 3 points. But this would be a spot to tell me to go look at the ESs because it's a very nice support level. So sometimes I'll trade the ESs just based on the spiders. If we spike down 2.5 points here, I can't tell you exactly where the ESs will be, but that will be a good spot. It could be 40, 50 points lower in here. So something that we'll keep an eye on the daily chart in that. Trading has been spectacular, I have to tell you. We still have a lot of volatility during the day. I think and again, we never talk about money, guys and girls. First rule, Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. But we're like 44 out of the last 45 days that we have been profitable. Patience, discipline, just taking it nice and slow. We found that we've been getting a lot of good trades in the futures in what we call slow markets, Ryan. We do Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 6 o'clock till 9:30. And we watch the Australian Open and the Tokyo Open and the China Open. And we've been getting a lot of good trades off that also. Not changing anything that we do, using the same technicals that we do. But that's been working out for us nicely too. I'm impressed with gold. I mean, gold has had.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we've had a beautiful run off the lows. Again, recaptured everything on a daily chart. This just looks like a nice cup and handle, right? Maybe we can make a run at all-time highs again, but looking very good technically on the chart. So that's something that we trade all the time. A lot of volatility in gold also. We are still susceptible, everybody who is with us, to tweets and all that other stuff. So mega, mega important to have stop orders and out in every single trade that we do. I'd rather lose a little than lose a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
If you're not using stop orders, please, please, please manage your accounts.
One of the things that I've always said, David, since I got involved in this business, learned it from someone that was more experienced than me, and it has proved to be true more times than I can count. Your first stop is your best stop.
No question.
Right? No question about it. So have that plan. And that also really kind of dovetails into having a trading plan for every trade. Have a plan in case it goes against you. That can really help kind of dispel some of the FOMO as well, and maybe make your trading a little bit more mechanical.
I am doing this a long time, and I learned the hard way. I can tell you that right now.
So did I.
Okay? When I first left the Florida New York Stock Exchange at the end of 1999, I thought I knew everything there was about trading. Problem was, I never used a technical in my life when I was on the Florida New York Stock Exchange. I didn't have to, right? As a market maker, I had all the orders in my hands. It didn't take a lot to be able to make money when you have the buyers in one hand and the sellers in the other hand. So when I left the Florida Exchange, I very quickly lost $300,000 day trading because I didn't use stop orders. How could I be wrong? How could Dave Green be wrong? He's doing this his whole life. And inevitably, I would get into something and just keep buying it until I felt like throwing up, get out of it, and then inevitably you go right back to where it was. We've all been there, right?
More times than I can count, and certainly more than I want to admit. Man.
If you have deep enough pockets, and this is not good advice, when you feel like throwing up, it's usually the time to hit the button again and buy more, usually. But if you're in a trade where you're hoping something's going to happen, you're in a bad trade. And how many of us have been in a trade where we're like this? God, please, just get me out of the trade. Get me out of this trade. I promise I will never do this again.
And then a week later, you did the same damn thing.
Yeah. And then it gets us to break even. And that's not good enough anymore now, right? We're in a big hole. Now we're break even. And then we watch it go right back down against us. So even when I'm in a trade, guys and girls, if it comes close to my stop order and I don't get stopped out, if I get a chance to get out break even or close to break even a little loss, I'm taking it and then just moving on to the next trade. When we're trading the futures, usually we have, and it depends on the ATR. For those of you guys who don't know, ATR is the average true range. It adds up the last 14 5-minute candlesticks and gives us the average of each of those candlesticks. So in the ESs, the ATR is about 4 points. Perfect. So I know when I get into a trade, my target top profit's going to be between 2 and 4 points, and my stop order is going to be 4 points. How many of us have done this, Ryan? When it gets close to a stop order, we cancel it because we don't want to take the loss.
Oh man, I've done
Right?
that. I've
And
done that. I've
this
done
is
it
the
on the
most
other
important.
side too, David. I've done it on the other side too, where I've had a profit target and the stock, in my case, has shown a lot of strength, and I'm like, maybe I had too conservative a target. Maybe I'll hike that up a little bit, and then it'll go almost right to it and reverse. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
Been on
and I
that
don't
side
care.
too.
Every trade that we get into, I have a target price. Okay. And let's say I get into an ES trade, and my target is between 2 and 4 points. If I get 2 points out of my trade, I am raising my stop so I can't lose money on that trade. So I'm never going to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. And there is no rear view mirror, guys and girls. If I get in something and out of it, I don't care if it goes up 20 points after I get in. And I'm just looking for the next trade setup. That is it. And there are going to be times, I can't tell you how many times this happens to us and everybody else out there, where I miss a trade by an inch, by a quarter of an inch, right? I don't get FOMO and run into it because I missed it by a little bit. There are trades all day long in any instrument you want to look at, stocks, options, futures. I don't care what it is. It's all about being patient and disciplined. But Ryan, this is the most important part that we're talking about of any trading. The charts, guys and girls, I could teach anyone how to read a chart, okay? And I could give people trades, and I could have 100 people do the same trade and get 90 different results. So it's all in your trade management once you get into a trade. And this is all about, if you can't get this part of it down pat, you have no chance of succeeding in trading, period. And I don't care what you're trading, right? Here was a beautiful setup in the ESs this morning. Okay, 65 EMA is one of our strongest moving averages. We moved up 13 points to hit that. Okay, we went from 68.61 to 68.73, 12 points. That is a trade I'm going to take every single time. We moved up more than 10 points. It hit a major resistance level, and we took our 2 to 5 points out of it. Now, this was 71. We're trading at 58. Oh my God, I could have made 13 points on this trade. One contract is $650. No, my plan was to get in here and take my profit out of the trade. So I can never look back on a trade. And we're coming in a little bit now. So we are down 8 points from here for a little trade to start the day. I always start the day, guys and girls. For anyone who's trading futures, there's two ways we can go. Okay, we could trade the mini futures and we can trade the micro futures, right? The mini futures, if I'm trading in the ES, is $50 a point. So if I lose 4 points, my risk on one contract is $200. In the micro futures, it's only $5 a point. So that's where I usually start my day with the micros, and I'll do a little more, be a little more aggressive as far as the volume is concerned. So let's do a couple down here if we get there. And we always want speed, guys and girls. Speed is the most important factor when we get into any trade. The faster it gets down to one of my levels, the better the trade is going to be. If we're going to meander here, I'm going to cancel that trade the longer it takes to get. And we're on a 5-minute chart, right? What I want to know is, okay, from 65.50, 68.50, I have a gap to 68.26 on my chart. That's a 24-point gap. I want to go look and see if I have anything in between. And I'm going to guarantee you I do. How do I find that? I got to look at a higher time frame, right? So I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart, and I have nothing. Let's go to a 30-minute chart. Okay, we also have 68.51. So another level right around where we're trading. Let's go to a 1-hour chart. And I have 68.41. Boom, that's down 10 points from here. That fits our trading criteria. So back to our 5-minute chart. Okay, if we don't hit this 50 in the next couple of minutes, my next level will be that 68.41. So very important, and this is if you're day trading any stock, it doesn't matter. And we'll look at some stock. I know you guys are talking about Cisco. We can look at that. To go to multiple time frames when you have a gap in something, whether it's Palantir, Nvidia, it doesn't matter what it was. So we're going to be looking for this to hit in the next, couple of minutes. I'll give it another 2 minutes. We'll be straight down 13 points. This is what we didn't want to see. All right? You see that little green bar? I don't want to see that. I want it either to get to my level or not get to my level. So it's still only 2 points from here. The bottom line is if we bounce 3 or 4 points from here now, this is not going to be valid anymore. because it came close to hitting it and didn't hit it. So there you go. This is the last thing I want to see when I'm waiting for one of my orders to get hit.
And David, really quickly, the important thing here is that you're not trying to adjust your order to move up and chase this bounce, correct? You're waiting this out. It either happens or it doesn't happen.
That's it. And that is on every single trade that I do. And if you look, guys and girls, okay, we missed it by a point, 2 points. If we would have got there, we'd be getting this same green bounce, and that would be our trade. So if we could have spiked down to that 50 level, there's our 4 points on the trade. So if I had 2 contracts and I made 4 points on a trade, I'm making $400. We missed it. Guess what? Come up here, cancel the trade. I'm going to put my next level out, which is that 30-minute chart now, right? I think it was 30-minute or 1 hour, 1 hour chart. And that was our 68.41. That's it. I missed the trade. Now, can this go back down to where we were just bidding and work? Absolutely. The odds aren't as good as if it would have hit it the first time. So now we adjust. We put our order out at 68.41. And now maybe on our 5-minute chart, we look for a short entry, right? Because we spiked all the way down here. So now I think we're in a little downtrend. So now to get into a trend trade now, which could stay in hopefully for the rest of the day, my 9 EMA, and it tells me up here, is 68.60. My 15 EMA is 68.62. Either one of those would be a 10 or a 12-point move up now, right? So it fits my trading criteria. So what we'll do is we'll put an order on our 15 EMA at 68.61, 68.62 if we spike up 7 points from here. And this is what we do all day. And it doesn't matter whether it's stocks, futures, it doesn't matter. If you are day trading, to me, it's all about technical analysis. Do we have the holy grail of technical analysis? No, nobody does, right? And people ask you guys took the previous day low? Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, so here was another thing we could have done, Ryan, and I'm always more conservative. If you guys look here, and this is on all of our charts. By the way, guys and girls, if anyone becomes part of our family, any of our courses, all this stuff is pre-built into your charts. It's one button. So we had a level here, Ryan, of 68.52 on my previous day low. That was exactly 68.52. And we hit that, right? Only went below it by a quarter, and there was your 2 points off that. I chose to be more conservative, and I missed the trade. Oh, well.
There'll be another one.
There's no question about that. And there will be all day long. Let's just see if gold is doing anything.
So right now it sounds like, based on what you're saying, that you're looking predominantly at the S&P futures, gold, and it looked like you had oil there in your recent list as well.
We'll look at oil too. I have a lot of people that trade Bitcoin. All right, we can trade Bitcoin, and they have micro futures for that, so it's kind of fun to trade that. Look at Bitcoin right now. Okay, we're getting a little smack-a-dacka, whack-a-dacka. So we have a previous day close of 102,060. That would be down, 110 points. That would be a level where I would look to buy Bitcoin. We're working on 4 red bars in a row. We have a 23 RSI. Remember, when something gets 20 or lower, RSI-wise, we can start to look for a reversal. So this level would probably work out perfectly for a far from moving average trade too. And this is the micro. So I'm going to put an order out, a little MBT. Now, the ATR in this is 200 points. That's what Bitcoin does, right?
That's what it does.
But this is only like, I don't even know what this is, $1 a point or $2 a point when we get in it. So, you're not risking all that much. 10260. 9 times out of 10, when I try to trade the Bitcoin futures, I put in the wrong price because it's so long. 10260. 10260. Boom.
Hopefully you didn't have any huge mistakes with that.
Yeah, well, that's why you want to be trading the micro futures in that.
Yeah.
Not the minis. The minis will absolutely blow you out of the water. All right, so we'll kind of hang around in the ESs. We got our orders out. We'll hang gold.
Really quickly on that ES chart, that candle that you said where you just missed that trade, you got the 4-point bounce. It actually looks like that might come in a little bit and retest that spot. And I think that this is exactly why I asked you, hey, you don't ever, if you're off by a little bit, you don't ever try to chase that to get back into it. Looks like, we'll see. We'll see how this resolves. I'm curious now.
This is now, Ryan, if we can test this again and break below it, setting up for a short. Okay, because If we hit support, we hit support, we hit support, and we finally break through that support, it could be a nice short down there. We call that a momentum trade. And our target could be the 68.41, which is our next support level on a higher time frame chart. All right. I'm not going to trade Bitcoin, guys and girls, because I just don't like trading.
I was getting excited for a sec there. I was like, let's go. Let's get some Bitcoin trading in here.
I think we bounced anyway. Yeah, there you go. Look, we had a nice bounce in Bitcoin. We almost got to a 20 RSI, which would have been a far from moving.
You know what? I have a really quick question here. This is actually spawned by one of the comments here in the chat. Day Trader here. He's one of our resident Bitcoin experts. Anyone trading Bitcoin futures would likely love leverage perpetual futures trading. I use the Jupiter exchange where I leverage trade Solana. So are you just not a Bitcoin fan at all, or would you be looking for more leverage on a trade like this, or are you just not interested in it?
Well, here it is in a futures account. Okay. You can trade as many contracts, even of the regular ones, as money you have in your account. You know, if you have an Apex futures account, for example, okay, if I wanted to, here's one of my Apex accounts. I think, can you guys see this up here, Ryan? This right here?
Yes.
So I have $76,000 balance in this. So I'm up $26,000 in this account. Okay. If I wanted to, I could trade the regular Bitcoin in this account with no problem. I'm going to have that big risk in it, but I could trade it with. And again, guys and girls, when you're trading on futures in Apex, this is not my money. I'm taking money from them because all I have to do is have a $50,000 balance. I've had this account for about 2 months. Right now I'm up 26 grand, and I've probably taken $20,000 in payments from them over the last couple of months. So if I'm going to be trading futures, I don't want to use leverage. I'm going to use my futures. I'm going to use my Apex futures account because there's no risk to my own real money. That's the bottom line. All right, so let's see if we can break these levels now. I want to just check gold because we came close to one of our levels. Let's see if we like it anymore. 200 EMA is 1650. We still like that. Let's come up.
Yeah. So real quickly here, I just want to clean up some of these questions here. Absolutely. One question here says, you use TOS for your own private account. No, I believe you said you use TOS for charting.
I use Thinkorswim for charting, and I use Interactive Brokers for my trading. So I only use Thinkorswim for charting.
Okay. And then sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to say the other question here is, what crypto futures are available? Is it just Bitcoin and Ethereum?
I'm pretty sure it's just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yes. What else is there?
Yeah, I think, well, the one he mentioned earlier was Solana, which does really seem to be like more than just forgive the language, but it does seem to be more than just a shit coin. This actually seems to be like a legitimate network. The only thing that I look at like in Thinkorswim is the Bitcoin futures. And then I look at some of the ETFs that mirror some of the other coins like Ethereum, for example.
Yeah. Again, I try to stick what I know about. I don't try to play a game that I don't know the rules to.
Probably a good decision. Probably a good decision.
Yeah, trading is trading. Oil's getting a little spike up here now. Let's see if we like anything here. It could be setting up for a nice trend trade.
Those purple dots are your VWAP?
Purple dots are my
or the pivots. You told me that last week. Sorry.
Which I will use. Like oil right now is approaching a pivot point at 58.29. Is that enough of a move? 59.29. Is it enough of a move to short? Probably. 25 cents in oil is a pretty decent move to get a pullback from. In oil, I look for at least a 25 to 30, 35 cent move to hit one of my levels. And my target in oil is 5 to 10 cents. That is my target in oil. So maybe, guys, if we spike up to that 59.32 as a 15-minute chart, let's take a look. There we go. 200 EMA on a 15-minute chart. It's 59.32. And that would be up about 30, 32, 35 cents from where we just were. Let's pop a little order out if we get there fast. This is what we spend our day doing, guys and girls. Looking for levels to possibly make trades. That's it. And if they line up, we trade them. And if they don't, we don't. Let's keep our eyes on the ES hanging around that level, not doing much of anything.
Look, it looks like that's going to roll over and test that level too, which is why we didn't chase that. I hope that happens just so we can make a lesson out of it.
I'd like to see it break these levels now and set up for that nice short.
Okay.
I can tell you the longer that it sits here and consolidates without having it up move, the better chance it is we're going to break down from there.
Okay. All right. So how about stocks?
Yep.
Are you looking at any stocks now?
I am.
Okay. What do you got on your radar? CoreWeave. Let's go. We just talked about this yesterday. Perfect.
Yeah, this is on my radar. I have a markdown at $75. You know, they had their earnings. Obviously, nobody was impressed with their earnings, right? We are working on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down days in a row. Okay. We have an RSI of 26. So I want to look at my weekly and monthly charts to see if I have any level. I do. It's much lower, but I will be a buyer if we get that. We are sitting right now, guys, on the 65 EMA. We're a little bit below it. That's 86.20. So we're let's see where we are right now. My next weekly level, don't laugh, is $59.62. Okay. That is my next weekly level. Let's go monthly. And monthly, I got a little higher. And this one's possible. My monthly is 68.15. So those are the two levels, 68.15 and 59.62. And again, we're sitting on this very big level right now, right around, we just broke it a little bit, right? So let's go back to that daily chart, weekly chart. And that level, guys, is right here, 86.23. So maybe if we can recover that 86.23 with any significance, we're holding the weekly level. And that could be a spot if I see a little strength and we're holding that. And I'll do this with options. I'd buy some 90 or 95 calls, short term, maybe a week out, if we can hold this 86 and change level. If not, my next real spot, unfortunately, or whatever, is $68. If we get to $68, I start putting this away. And again, when I do, and I've never invested in this stock. And again, we don't give financial advice to anybody, okay? But when I start an investment, as I did in NVIDIA and Apple and Google and Amazon, I start with my smallest amount because it's something that I'm going to hold on to for a long period of time. So if this happened to get to the 70 level, I will buy 25% of whatever my full baggage is to get into it. Let's say it's 100 shares, okay? Then if it gets my next level at 59.60, I'll buy another 100 shares. So now I have 50% of my total investment. And if it goes lower than that, I will get to 100% of it at some point, and then I won't look at it. I will just leave that in there. This is a long-term investment now. We can, if it really gets ugly, sell upside calls, right? Do the wheel strategy, sell upside calls against our position and collect premium and keep lowering our cost basis.
That's right.
That's what I will do if something goes really bad against me. That's what I'm looking at, man. We'll see if we can get back above this 86 and change. Although if not, I think we got 68 written all over it. We shall see.
Okay. There's a couple other stocks here folks want to take a look at. Kathy, did you want to look at Barrick Mining? That's ticker B. That's gold related, David. I don't know if you want to take a look at that. I do really quickly want to look at Marty's suggestion here for Sandus. Let's start with Barrett. I don't know if Kathy wanted to cover this, but let's just do it.
Yeah, let's look at it. All right, now this is So this is a mining company.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a mining company. So might not be directly related, but this is also an earnings play, guys. Earnings came out 3 days ago. Okay. Earnings came out 3 days ago. This broke out of on a daily chart. If you look up here, Kath and everybody else, level. We got above that level, right? That was about $36, and we broke out from there. This chart looks great on a daily chart, but it's earnings related. So weekly, maybe a little stretched. Monthly, definitely a little stretched. This has been great. I hope you own some. This has been spectacular. This is a $13 stock that's trading at $37.
Yeah, Kathy's pretty sharp. I wouldn't be surprised that she's been swinging this.
Nice job, Kathy. I would be looking on a short side if this daily chart stretched up, got me to an 80 RSI, and just for a trade. But it is a great looking chart.
And guys, I know there was some confusion here. Thinkorswim is not friendly at all to screen sharing. I'm sorry about that. It's just how it is. He is looking at ticker B, Barrick Mining.
Are we lagging a little bit?
No, we're not lagging. It's just the way Thinkorswim is. The letters are small. It is difficult to see on a screen share. It's not your fault or anything. It is what it is. But it's ticker B. The previous stock that we were on was CoreWeave, and then we took a look at the ES futures, the gold futures.
Oh, you mean you can't see the actual symbol?
They can't see the actual ticker, and your studies are going over the little graphic or whatever they call it for the company. But that's okay. It's all right. Let's do SanDisk next. SNDK.
Fine, let's take a longer view.
Yeah.
Chip stock SanDisk, I'm assuming.
Memory.
Yeah. Again, earnings, right? Since the earnings came out on the 6th, we are off to the races in SanDisk. Now, we're hanging around an 80 RSI, so we're getting a little overboard here, right? We are 50 points above the moving average.
This thing has been crazy. But David, the reason that I really want to ask you about this
chart.
SNDK, WDC, STX, they all look like that. Every one of them.
Wow. The monthly chart. That's insane.
It is insane.
Listen, I would certainly like to be long this thing on a pullback. On a pullback. If it's me, am I looking to start investing in SanDisk up here? No. I think you'll get a better entry, especially when we're 50 points above the closest moving average. As far as shorts is concerned, I would never short this stock, the stock itself, if you gave me the money to do it. Okay. If I'm going to do anything in this, it's going to be buying a put option. And that's the end of that. But it's getting severely stretched. Again, congratulations to anyone who owns any of these stocks. That is absolutely spectacular.
So I can't speak for everyone here. What I will say, I didn't own any of these three. And as I watched them continue to climb and climb, I guess you could throw Micron in there for a fourth. My thought is I'm looking for, even if this just has a regression back to the mean, to just calm down for a little bit and then resume the same trend.
Yep.
I want to be able to try and capture that. And I'll be honest with you, it has been tough going on these days. These
There's no pullback.
Higher.
Just no pullback for, basically a year and a half. It has been, you had a couple of opportunities. All right. Back here, we hit our trend at $118. Here we hit our trend at $189. But then you say to yourself, the stock was $50. I'm going to jump in at $189. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. So that's how you're going to miss the boat on some of these things. It just happens. Let's just take a recheck of our futures here, guys and girls, and see if anything's setting up. All right, so the ES has completely bounced off that level, never broke down. So let's see what we like on the short side now, because we're not having that big a move up to hit even our 30 EMA, guys and girls. So let's put our 65 EMA out at 68.68. We'll go up a little bit. That is the next resistance level. So let me explain to you guys my thought process here, okay? All right. My thought process is now, to get to one of my mega moving averages, I want at least a 10-point move. Well, we are coming from 54, and if I use this moving average, it's only like a 7-point move. That does not fit my trading criteria anymore. But if we go up to 68, that's up 13 points from here. Odds are that if we spike all the way up there, we'll get that little rejection for our trade. Let's check gold. All right, gold, we have a double top out at 42.50, and we have a buyout down at 42.16. I'm going to get rid of this spider. Gold, oil, I think, turned around a little bit on us. Yeah, kind of just sitting, not doing anything. So we'll cancel that, and we're all clean. We're waiting on the ESs and the gold to see if anything sets up with that. We have no news. Let's see if Bitcoin's going to hit that level. Let's take a look. Again, giant bounce up. So we got severely oversold. Got that nice bounce up. It looks like we hit our trend on our 9 EMA and went down like 40 points from there. So what if we're ever lucky enough, okay, and this does not happen very often, but it does happen at times. I'll show you guys if I can. Let me go back here. Here, okay. This is a pattern, and I'm looking at the ESs, guys and girls, if you can't see it. This is a downtrend, right? And it doesn't happen very often in the futures, but when it does, this is going to be the biggest trade that we have. Well, trend trades are always going to be the ones we make more money on because I'm not looking to scalp them. Most of my other trades, give me my 2 to 5 points, I'm in, I'm out of the trade. Mm-hmm. If we can find a trend in the futures and have a day like this, that is where we're going to make our most money. If you look here, guys and girls, we hit our 9 EMA, down 15 points. We hit our 9 EMA, down 15 points. We hit our 9 EMA, down 10 points. This is a trade that we got in, that you could have gotten in. I don't remember if we did it now. Up at 68.84. Okay. And here is the spot I would have covered all of my trade because we hit a pivot point. support level. That was down, guys, 25 points. All right. And when you get into a trend trade like this, don't be afraid to make money. I will stay in this trade until it tells me to get out of the trade or I have a big support level. This is a 22-point move. One contract, guys and girls, is $1,000. One contract, 20 points, is $1,000. Here was where we got out of the trade, and here's where we actually reversed and got long because we went down 30 points and hit a beautiful support level and then just went right back up to the trend. Doesn't happen very often, but we do look for them early in the morning for a possible setup. I won't look at a trend trade until at least 9:45 because just because something opens up or down doesn't mean we're in a trend. And that first 15 minutes of the day, you can get wackadoodle moves up or down, right? But even if we look now, so far, okay, we made a low of 52. We spiked up to 57, 7-point move. And look how we rejected even the 9 EM, right? Maybe this is going to be setting up for a trend trade the entire day. Hopefully we keep spiking down from here, hit our 68.41, and then we rally up and we get into that trend. And maybe it stays in that trend all day. So we shall see.
Okay. Stock that he has in focus is /ES in Thinkorswim. That is correct. The S&P 500 futures contract, the E-minis.
And the beautiful thing about doing this, guys and girls, for those of you who aren't trading futures yet, don't know a lot about trading futures, it's the barrier to entry, right? Apex has a sale almost every other day where we can buy an account for like $50, sometimes $33, sometimes $17 when they have a 90% off sale. And guys, we have our course at wsgta.com. It's the lowest price we've ever had. It includes lifetime mentorship. You guys want to pop it up there. It's only $299. Spectacular. It's 6.5 hours long. You want to learn how to trade futures. It's a very, 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 very low cost to entry, and we get money back guarantees and everything else. But the beautiful thing about opening an Apex account, let's say I open one up for $50, guys and girls. That's my risk. I cannot, and I know we're up against stocks, right? Let me just finish this and you can go.
Yeah, no problem. I actually have a question for you before we do that.
Yeah, okay. So we open up an account, let's say for $50. They start us with, and it's all simulated money, but when you hit certain goals, you can take real money from them. So I open up an account with $50. They give me what they call an evaluation account. It has $50,000 of simulated money in it. Our first goal is to take that $50,000 to $53,000. With Apex, you can do that in one day. If you do that in one day, you have now qualified for a PA account, but you have up to 30 days for that to happen, okay? Once you qualify for a PA account, you now pay another lifetime fee to have your paid account. It varies from $40 to $85. Now, once you have your PA account, they reset you at 50 grand. Once you get that account to 53,000 now, you can start taking real money from them, okay? And you can take us forever to get to that $53,000. Once my people get to 53,000, I tell them take $1,000 out. Boom, take $1,000 out, and you just build your account from there. And again, I showed you this, guys and girls. I started these accounts with that amount of money, right? I started with a $50,000 account. Now I have $76,000 in the account, and I only do the trades that we do in the room. I'm a little more aggressive when they set up here because I have a nice cushion. You know, I have a $26,000 cushion. But once you get to that 53 grand, you can take money every 8 days as long as you're $50 profitable 5 out of those 8 days. So again, it's just a great way to get into trading, and it's a great way to get into futures with very low risk.
What happens if you drop below that 53 threshold?
Then your account is good. Well, no. Once you hit 53,000, your trailing drawdown goes to 50,100, Ryan. So if I take 1,000 out and I have 52 grand, I still have $2,000 to play with. Okay. So your trailing drawdown, once you start taking money from them, if I have my 76,000 in there right now, that account wouldn't be closed if I went back to 50,100. So I have a $25,000 cushion in that account. So, again, guys and girls, it's just a spectacular way to learn how to trade futures. And we walk you through the entire thing. We walk you through how to open an account. We walk you through every single thing. That's at wsgta.com. Go check out the courses. You had a question. Oh, that was the question, Brian?
No, I have another one here. Yeah. Sorry. They're coming fast and furious here. Our chat is ready to go today, which I absolutely love to see. How do you determine, this is regarding actual trading, not necessarily the account. How do you determine when the trend is valid? just because the price crosses above an EMA does not mean the beginning of a new trend. This is when you were talking about the ES being in trend and that being the best possible trade.
Let's go back. Okay, I'll show you here. Okay. Bottom line is I use my technical analysis to get in any trade that we do, right? That's the bottom line. So when I'm looking at this, okay, my moving averages determine whether it's in a trend or not. So I use my 9 EMA and my 15 EMA to get into a trend trade. So if you see, we had this big pullback and we rallied up. Big pullback, rallied up. If this is not a trend and it breaks above that, I'm going to get stopped out of the trade. Just like I would if I was waiting for it to hit a level in any of my stocks or futures. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to get stopped out of the trade. But when we see something like this, just like any other trade they do, I'm going to follow my technicals and get in it on my 9 and my 15 EMA. You know what the bottom line is, Ryan? And this is, I don't care what stock you're trading, if you're day trading. I don't know which trades are going to work. How do you know which trades are going to work? I only know that by using my technical analysis and journaling every trade that I do and knowing I have over an 80% hit rate for the last 45 days, that they work a lot more than they don't, right? So every time one of my trades sets up, I'm going to do it. If it doesn't work, I'm going to get stopped out of the trade. So the bottom line is when we think we see a trend trade setting up, I'm going to use my technicals and get into the trade. That is the bottom line.
So basically, just to kind of TLDR Gary's question here. Gary, that was a good question too. You're basically waiting for a setup. When the setup shows itself, you take it. You don't know if it's going to work, but this is why stops are so important. And if it does, then you're able to kind of use that trend along the way to kind of either keep you in or tell you when to exit.
I'll tell you this, Ryan. Nobody, I don't care what anyone. If you're day trading, nobody ever knows when a trade's going to work or not. The best we can do
that's for sure
is try to put the odds in our favor by using our technical analysis. Yeah. That's all we can do, right? And not having FOMO and not caring I've missed a trade and not jumping ahead of my levels. None of that stuff, because this is all about patience and discipline. And look, like I said before, I don't have the holy grail of technical analysis. I know we've made money 44 out of the last 45 days. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because we're using a system that works for us. Okay. And again, guys, I'll give you all the technical analysis we use real quick because I know we're up against this. And this is a good example: 9 EMA, 15 EMA, 30 EMA, 65 EMA, 200 EMA. You can obviously see that we're below all of our moving averages. That is a downtrend. Yeah. So just look here, guys. If we would have got in on our 9 EMA, we're down 8 points from there already, right? So if I got in on this early trend at 8:30 in the morning, I'm taking some profit for 2 points. I'm taking some profit for 5 points. I'm lowering my stop order, and we'll see how much more we can get out of it. If it gets back to the trend and over it, that's when I get out of my trade.
Okay.
Very simple.
All right. One thing, I haven't seen Peter yet today.
I haven't either.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I know I didn't miss him. Just want to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to text him right now because he just texted me and I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Okay.
We'll try to get him in here after you finish the stocks.
Okay. Let me do the stock rundown. Yeah. We'll get you back here and then we'll hopefully we'll have Peter get an update from the actual market.
Gotcha.
All right. Sounds good, David. I'm going to put you in the back just for a sec, but nobody puts David in a corner. Don't worry about it. You'll be back. All right. Give me 1 sec here. All right. And 13, did you want to jump on and run through some of these stocks too? If you don't, if you want me to just do it myself, that's fine. But let me know. Hop on here and we'll go ahead and start. We are going to start here. First one, this is an easy one. MRSN is the top gainer here today. It's up 208%, but this is a takeover. Mersana Therapeutics here. Shares are trading higher if the company announced it will be acquired by Day One Biopharmaceuticals. So no trade here. Grats if you had this. This thing's, I mean, gosh, this was up 18.5 points. It's 27 right now. Buyout price was 25. What we have there? A CVR with an aggregate of up to 30.5. So it was 25, can go to 30.25 based on that CVR. So no trade here, but don't worry, we've got other stuff for you to trade. Let's go ahead and bring on 13 to help with the rundown. 13, good morning. Happy Thursday. Good to see you.
Good morning. How are you? How is everybody?
I'm doing really good. Ondas earnings here came out. That's trading higher, so that is also really good. I actually did read through that report a little bit. I'll talk about it when we actually get to that in the movers list here, but I want to start here with SGBX, Safe and Green Holdings. This is one that we have traded a number of times, and here we go. Another pop in the after hour yesterday. Two pops here this morning. We did have a volume pop here this morning as well. They're trading higher on no news, but remember, this is one of the ridiculously low float stocks. Now, couple of things here. I've got 481,000 in the float. I'll go check the float. When we look at the short interest here, it's saying that the short interest is more than the actual float. This is saying that there's 1.42 million shares held short with a float of 481. So something is going on there. It is still high short interest, but I would imagine that this is some type of calculation error. Let me go check the float real quick. Here's what the chart looks like. What do you think here? SGBX.
With this one that has a low float, we are going to be able to push it around, and so are other traders. So we could see some more of that today. Not seeing a whole lot of it right now. It is moving on no news. While he looks at that short interest, and
I got it here real quick. Check this out. Yahoo says almost 11. Wall Street Journal says 10.5. FinViz says the same reading that we have at about 500,000, and Dilution Tracker says 1.72 million. So,
but
there you go.
Oh, so there's all the short. Okay, so the short interest is nowhere near that amount, according to this.
Yeah. So the short interest of 1.42 million shares looks like that was probably the calculation when the float was 10 million. That would be my guess, but I don't know for sure. Nonetheless, though, there's still significant short interest here. I can't give you an exact percentage with confidence, but it's still high.
So reasons it's moving aside, let's look at some levels here and get an idea of where this is going to move around. So far, we've been getting some great support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute all morning since we started this price action. Right now, if you can both look at the daily chart and the smaller time frames. VWAP is right in the area where there's resistance at about $3, and that's where we're just about at right now, 305. If we continue to climb higher, the next resistance is going to be up around 4. You can see this from the daily chart. Every time that since we came down here in October, recapturing 4 has proved troublesome. You can't do it. It's not able to do it. Had a couple days where it did, came right back down, hasn't been able to do it. So if that does turn around, we do recapture VWAP and get past some of these pre-market levels. $4 is going to be the next big area. We do have 357 as the pre-market high, so that's also going to be another resistance area we have to chew through after we capture VWAP.
Okay, we'll see if we get it. This has been a pretty good mover for us in the past. Had a strong day yesterday. We'll see what today brings. Next stock on the list here, MGRX. This is Mango Cuticles. Mango Cuticle shares are trading higher after the company launched Mango RX Direct and Peaches RX Direct to provide direct access to Zepbound and Wegovy, the popular GLP-1 fat loss drugs. Is this like an Atlanta company?
I don't know. This one I didn't see moving.
I'm just peaches and mango, and I'm just wondering. I guess I read that as peach tree here, but it seems like there's like 8 million streets in Atlanta with peach tree, or Georgia, I guess. Let's see, where is this actually? I'll look that up when 13 is going through that here. So there's the news. Quick look at the short interest on this one, 1.34% with 1 day to cover. It comes on an average volume of 233,000 shares. Today, it's traded just shy of 40 million. Float here just shy of 10 million, about 9.5 million. What do you think here on MGRX? And I'll keep looking it up.
I think this is in Texas, but we'll see. As far as let me pull this up through my broker. As far as levels go, we did pop up to 285. Haven't been back up there since.
You are correct. Oh no, the independent auditor lists a Texas address. Excuse me. Its corporate headquarters is in Dallas, Texas. Good call, 13. So we got to the end of that. All right, sweet.
All right. Now that mystery's been solved, this is trying to get back above 230. This has been a resistance area since it lost the level down at 750 earlier this morning. Haven't been able to recapture it. It's kind of been on both sides of VWAP for some time, a little more than a couple hours. But as long as we can hold this area, the sideways area going into the open, this might create a good solid base for us to move away from. So we're going to need to see a recapture of that 230 coming out of the gate here. What we don't want to see is this coming down towards 65 EMA, which hasn't been tested yet today. That would hopefully that provides some support. But if it doesn't, then this is going to come back down to where it started from, down near the 200 EMA. So that's what I would think happens here with this one. Didn't cover this one, so I don't know how great this is. I don't know anything about their Mango RX or Peach RX Direct. But just looking at the technicals, there's even a little bit of a trend line I think you could draw there. I don't know how great that's going to work out, though. Let's see. Okay, so we're kind of coming up to it right now. So let's see if we can get a break of this trend line here this morning.
Okay, and this is basically the trend line that you're taking a look at. Okay,
yeah.
Let me keep moving here. There were two more that I wanted to get.
LVLU and IDN.
Ondas. I wanted to cover Ondas here real quick. LVLU will do first here. This is Lulu's Fashion Lounge. Lulu's Fashion Lounge holdings are trading higher. The company reported Q3 financial results. This is not related to Lululemon, is it?
I don't know. I was wondering that myself.
Yeah, I doubt it. I'll go look through that too. Quick peek at the short interest, 7.21% with 1.49 days to cover. This stock is a ghost town on most days. Trades 85,000 shares. This normally would not even be on my radar for a stock to trade given that volume. Today, it's traded 2.37 million shares, excuse me. I've got a float reading here of just over 500,000, so maybe this gets pushed around too. Looks like a low float mover here. What do you think on this one? 13?
It is a low float mover that is getting this price action off of their earnings report. They posted misses. EPS miss was actually pretty big, but because the CEO can apparently talk pretty well, it touted that this is their second quarter with positive EBITDA. So naturally, the stock's ripping now. The company does have a little bit of cash, but it did secure a $20 million credit facility. So I don't think that they're going to need to raise capital if they have that to manage their balance sheet. So they still could, but I don't think it's a lot less likely. It seems with that in place. Still possible though. As far as levels go, this is coming down towards a 200 EMA. That'll be the first visit it's had this morning down there. Going to need to see that as support because it is also in the same area as some of the highs from the regular session back on August 28th. So that could be a pretty good support area down around the 565, 570. And if we do get that support, we're going to want to see recapture of the 65 EMA, which I have at $6. VWAP is at 637. And then after that, $7 is the next big area that I think needs to get cleared if we're going to see more upside.
Okay. Good stuff there, LVLU. Thank you, producer, for grabbing that. Next on the list here, Ondas. The reason that this is moving is they reported earnings here. Ondas shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results and raised its full year 25 guidance. This is exactly what we wanted to see. And there were a couple of things from this. So first of all, what I've been saying, what I've been pounding the table on in this stock is that they really need to start showing revenue and sales and all of that. And it seems like they're doing that here now. But there's a couple of other things going on in here. So just right from the earnings report, recorded quarterly revenue of $10.1 million in Q3, a six-fold increase year over year, and 60% growth quarter over quarter. Revenue target increased to at least 36 million, establishing preliminary revenue target of at least 110 million for 2026. And then here's the other thing that he goes on to say, this is Eric, of course, who we just had an interview with. He said exactly what he told us in the interview. Our strategic growth plan is advancing and benefiting from a strong investor support as evidenced by the significant capital that we've raised in June. Our pipeline is expanding and rapidly maturing, highlighted by the acquisition of Centrix, scheduled to close this month. Remember, he told us he wanted to bring he was essentially trying to create a technology stack here. We believe the newly acquired companies bring exceptional platforms, leadership talent, and new customer relationships to expand our capabilities and reinforce our position as a leading global provider for next generation defense and security technologies. There was another quote in here. I'm struggling to find it here, but there was another quote where he taught, I continue to be pleased with the expansion of our core growth plan led by our Iron Drone Raider and Optimus Systems platform and supported by the expansion of our senior leadership team at OAS, which is helping to ensure we have scalable infrastructure and sustained rapid growth in the years. This is what we wanted to see. So we can't do it all in one earnings report. This is absolutely a step in the right direction. Love to see it. The stock is trading up by 12% here. Giddy up. So that's what's going on. That's why it's moving here. The position that I took recently to kind of hedge this was I sold 6 calls for December, collected the premium. If this stays above 6 going into expiration, then I'll just sell more stock, raise even more capital. Sorry?
Zoom out with that current chart. So you can see that the price, this formation that we're creating right here with today's price action, we've come down to a support area based on the past few days trying to get over looks like 615, 620. That's been resistance for like 3 days. And then this morning We broke through that. Now we're back testing that as support. I would think that that's going to be the support area where this the price actually turns around and goes on to recapture VWAP. If it isn't, then it's going to be likely down where that 65 EMA is, where that that demand zone is from the past few days. So those are the next two support areas that I see here for ONDS, where we should get some kind of a reversal that takes us back up towards VWAP. It looks like we might start getting that soon now, or we're getting it right now.
Okay. Like. All right. What was the other one that you had on the list that you wanted to cover?
It was IDN, and this is a real small company. They had earnings, 17 million share float. They have cash and revenue, so looks pretty good. But there's, it's like I said, it's a small company. I don't know how much is going to be here. It's been climbing all morning. It's actually up at the resistance area that I have. If you look at a daily chart for this, you can probably see the trend line that I drew that the price is currently testing right now. There it is. So there you go. Now, if you go back to the 5-minute chart. Look at
that. Love when a plan comes together.
So that's kind of where the resistance is right now. I don't know what's going to happen out of the open. I don't know a whole lot about this company, but it seems like if the technicals are going to behave pretty well, this is the trend line that we want to break.
Okay. Really low volume, negligible short interest, float 17 million. All right. Good stuff. IDN 13, see in about 45.
Sounds good. See you.
All right. He'll still be in the chat there, by the way. All right. Let's go back here to David. I think he's ready. I think he looks ready there. Let's go ahead and bring David back on. David, did you talk to Peter at all? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I did talk to Peter. Let me see what he said. Can somebody send me the link to the Benzinga thing? I can't get in.
All right.
They sent you an email. We just had a nice trade set up.
They're not going to be able to do. I'm not going to be able to help them. So hopefully our producers can grab that.
They sent you an email with link yesterday. He said he's going to try to get in right after the opening. All right. So we did have a nice trade set up in our MESs. Okay?
Walk us through it.
Yeah. We had a Fibonacci level down at 68.4275. Okay. Fibonacci's, we teach you how to do also. They just basically measure retracement, right? So we had a level at 42.75. We got in that trade. It only broke it by a point. And we took, most people took between 3 and 5 points out of the trade. So that was a nice way to start our morning. You see here that I'm up $13, guys and girls. That is because I'm trading the micro contracts in this account. So if I made 3 points on that trade, it's $15 minus commission. So that's why you see $13. But we're trading that in our real accounts in Apex, and it was like a $350 trade. So now, Ryan, we're going to see if we can set up for a trend trade now, right? Every time we've tested these levels, we have rejected. So right now, the 9 EMA is 68.50, 15 EMA is 68.53, and our 30 EMA is 68.58. Because it's early in the morning, we're just going to be conservative and go up to the 68.58 level because we're not doing trend trades in the first 15 minutes of the day. That is just the bottom line. It's one of our rules. We don't do trend trades during the first 15 minutes of the day. We don't enter trend trades during lunch. If we're in one, I'll stay in it all day. And I don't enter trend trades after 3 o'clock because that things can get wackadoodle and just blow you out of the water. So now we're looking up on our 30 EMA if we can get there. Gold, I want to show you something. All right. How we just missed an order in gold. It happens. Happens all the time. Let's just go to that in 1 second. Let me just get these orders out here. Good. Okay. Let's look at the gold chart. And when we're trading the gold, when I'm trading the minis, when you get into a trade in gold in the minis, it's $100 a point. Okay. The micros are $20 a point. Here was our 200 EMA, Ryan. The level was 42.17. We got to 42.1850. Missed it by a point and a half, and that was a 5-point trade. So one contract is $500 on that trade. This is why the people with more experience, I like trading gold, because every point it moves is $100 in your favor. So even with one contract, if you take 3 to 5 points out of it, you're making $300 or $500 on one trade. And actually, this was a spot that I had 5 contracts out because we had moved so far down to get there, 36 to 17, 20 points, right? So I was a little more aggressive in my PA account that I have a big cushion in. I missed it. That was a $1,500 trade in 2 minutes. Next. So we're going to look at gold now, okay, and see what the next level is if we break our 200 EMA. My previous day close is 42.01. Again, that's down 20 points from here. Certainly fits my trading criteria.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I want to check is to see if we have anything in between. So I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart. And our 15-minute chart was that same level around 17, which would have been spectacular if we got down there the first time. 30-minute chart, same thing. Look at all the levels we had at that 42.17 level. So to me, if we break that, we definitely got some room on the downside. 1 hour, nope, right around 4,200. 4 hour, right around 40, what is that? 42.01. So we got a ton of support now at that 4,200 level. So I don't think it'll get there, but that's where we're going. Okay, that would be our previous day close. 42.01 will cheat to 42.02. So that's what we're looking at for gold.
Okay,
bro.
Oh, I was just gonna. No, I'm following along with you here.
Yep. ES, we're going to see if we can spike up to the 30 EMA on the opening. I'm just going to adjust my orders in gold in all of my Apex accounts. Okay, good. All right. Any stocks that we want to look at before we open here, Ryan? Anything that's going on?
You know, we should probably take a peek at Tesla. That's had kind of a weak pre-market here. That's down about 7 points in the pre-market. I think maybe Nvidia and Palantir. Palantir's leaking a little too.
Okay, let's take a look at Nvidia.
And you know what, David? I'll be right back. I'm going to step away before the open here so I can be ready for the print.
Oh, good. Nvidia, where are we? 190. So around 188.15, I would be a buyer. That is down 2.5 points from here, and it's our previous week close. So that's what I would be looking at in Nvidia. Tesla, let's take a quick look. Tesla went down to 423. Previous week low is 422. And then we got to gap it down to 418, which would be a spot that I would be looking at. Palantir. Let's take a look. Down to 180. And this has been bad since the earnings came out, right, guys and girls? 176 would be a spot in Palantir on our daily chart. Kind of like that if we get down there. All right, let's get back to our ESs and gold because we're moving out here. All right, nothing to do here. 68.60 is our 15 EMA. Do we like that, guys? Want to try an early trend small in the MESs? It's up 11 points. I want to try it. And if we stay in that trend, we'll stay in it all day. But let's try it small. 68.60 in the ESs. We likey. We'll try it small.
And if you need another stock to take a look at, I think we should take a look at NBIS.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Okay, we'll look at it. 68.57, guys. Let's just be patient in the ESs. It's good. And we'll lower this to 57, and then we'll look at NBIS. Okay, NBIS. Let's take a peek. Nimbus also setting up for a little downtrend today. Let's go daily. Yep. I mean, we broke some key levels. See how we held the 65 EMA? We held the 65 EMA. That was telling us it was a short when we broke below that, right? So now we're trading at 95. I'd hate to see 69. Let's check weekly. 78. Yeah, we broke a weekly trend line too. So my next real support is around $78. 78.76 looks really good in that. Yeah, it's down 10 points from here. that could happen easily. So let's keep our eyes on that. All right. Let's watch our gold and ES for the opening. 5 minutes. All right. So ES, we're up on our 30 EMA. Small. That's a 12-point move up from here. That's good. Gold, we're down at that 42.02, and we have a short out at 33. That is our 65 EMA and our 30 EMA. And let's lower it to 32 from 34. I like the fact, and again, we started out with a little winner this morning, so that's good. We don't have to be in a hurry. We can keep things small for the opening. See if we spike down to that 42.01 level. Boom, chaka-laka-laka.
You know, David, I got a really quick question here.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking at the calendar here, and I know that Thanksgiving is going to be on the 27th. So obviously the market's going to be closed and we're not going to have our show. We could talk a little bit more about this next week when you're back on the 20th. Do you trade differently at all during that Thanksgiving week where volumes are a little bit lower and sometimes we get some of these crazy moves? And I know when I first started in this, it was affectionately called Turkey Crack Week. Do you trade any differently or look for anything else, or is it business as usual, exact same thing that you do every day, no matter what?
It's not business as usual. When we have holiday and the markets tend to not have a lot of people there, I tend to be more conservative, or just tell people let's just take off. I mean, I know a lot of people take off the whole week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely different.
That's one of my favorite weeks of the entire year. I can't imagine taking the entire week off. Nice to have a football game there on Thursday with some food and family and friends and all that. But man, I can't imagine taking that whole week off.
Yeah, it depends, depends. Again, though, I will be more conservative on those days where there's not a lot of volume. And, if I have a couple of levels, I'll always go to the lowest one. But we try to have fun during those holidays. All right, gold broke down a little bit, but now we bounce back up. Ooh, let's get our orb setting. Okay. The steadiest you're going to see that comes up now is the opening range breakout, guys and girls. 9:30, 5 minute. We are good. So when the bell rings at 9:30, you're going to see a little box come up. And what we will look for is a breakout above that box between 9:30 and 9:45, or a breakout below that box between 9:30 and 9:45. That is what we call an opening range breakout trade. So we watch that at 9:30. We watch it at 9:45. Gold is getting a smack-a-dacka down here now. Good. Let's see if we can get down to our levels.
PayPal's dropping. Apple's trading up. Palantir's trying to bounce.
Yes,
I'm just looking at some of these stocks right ahead of the open here.
Now, what I tell everybody to do on the opening is take a nice deep breath and just relax.
Oh, yeah.
68.32 is a daily level in the ESs. We're at 28. Let's come up to 32. Boom. I get down 12 points from here. Works for me. The good thing about trading futures is you can choose which contracts you want to trade. You can be aggressive. You cannot be aggressive.
David, AMD, that at one of your levels. Barat here, you've been all over these tech names right around the open here. Barat wondering if this is a buy the dip area right here on AMD.
Let's take a quick look. AMD.
And I'm thinking a little bit closer to 250, Barat, but let's see what David finds in the charts here.
I like if we can pull back to the trend around 248. That would be a nice little spot. So yeah, we're not far off.
So even a little bit lower, yeah. But that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, that is the 15-minute trend line. So I would certainly be there for a trade. I could tell you that right now, no question about it. 248 level.
So there you go, Barat. 248.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, 250 is the previous day low. So maybe if we break that, you get a little momentum down to that 248 level. So we'll see what happens.
We shall. We are under a minute till we open here.
A minute and 10 seconds.
I've got literally 5 seconds until we open.
Really?
All right. Yep, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the wrong minute.
Let's do it. Good luck.
Okay, so you guys can see on the chart immediately this 5-minute orb started to form. So I won't look for a breakout or a breakdown until like 9:35.
Looks like AMD's first move is lower there. I see Circle trading down. Palantir bounced right off the open. Apple higher as well. Tesla 422. Oh, is Tesla going to bounce off 420, David? Really? Bounce off 420.69, and let's just get all the memes flowing and get all of the craziness happening there.
Yeah,
Let's
just
do
missed
it.
it. Got the 421.80. Okay, let's look at our futures. All right, so what I'm going to be looking for, guys, in a couple of minutes is if we break the low of this 5-minute orb, telling us that we're going to go down from that. We have a bid out at 68.32. We have our short out at 68.57. Gold is breaking down a little more.
Chipotle higher. This actually looking like it might take out the pre-market high. Whoever traded Chipotle yesterday, that was a great call. Can't remember who that was. Ondas, power move out of the open. We'll take that.
What we want to see in gold, guys and girls, is a quick spike down to our level. The faster something gets to one of our levels, the better the trade is going to be. And we're getting a little stretched out on the downside. So let's see if we can spike down to that 42.02 level.
We're getting the SPY and the Qs to pull here.
Yeah, everything's coming in pretty good here.
Thino, you did your work. You did your work to get that from Chipotle. Let's go. Awesome.
Nice bounce in Tesla.
Awesome.
What am I looking at? Chipotle is CMG.
CMG.
Oh, yeah, nice 60 cent back up. Boom. All right, we're getting a bounce in gold now. So don't look like that trade's going to set up, but let's take a chill pill. So maybe we look 68.55 on a short in the MESs. Good. Getting a little bounce in that.
AMD looks like that did trade up a little bit here. Let me check in on NBIS, which we got asked about earlier. I don't see any great setups here. Thankfully, I'm already in Ondas. RGTZ, that's up 10% as Rigetti keeps moving lower. Palantir, that bounce might be slowing down here at 183.
All right, guys. So in 3 minutes, we'll look to see if we can get a breakout or breakdown of these orbs. Nothing is really happening right now. Gold's kind of sitting in a range. In gold, we cheated by 50 cents down at that 42.02 level, and we still like it. Let's see what happens here.
Netflix continuing to pull back. Part of me, let me go to a bigger chart here. Part of me wonders if Netflix is able to find any support at that 200 that we recently took over. Let me see if I can do that here real fast.
I got 1139 in Netflix.
Okay.
The pivot point, which is down 9 points from here, not likely to happen.
And 1130 is your 200 day. So I would imagine you said 1139, right, David?
1139, and then 1133 is the previous week high. So a couple left.
Yeah, so I think 1139, 1133, and 1130, all possible bounce spot for Netflix if it keeps pulling.
I like it. All right, so in 2 minutes, we're going to start paying attention to this orb, and the ES is getting close to the top of it. So if around 9:35 we break out of this orb to the upside, that'll be a trade that we will take. It's kind of sitting there right now, not doing much of anything. Gold is dead. I'm seeing NVIDIA down $3, Tesla down $7, Oracle down $3, ABGO down $5, AMD down $6. So chip stocks are taking a little beating this morning. Where do we like to short in gold, guys and girls? We're rallying up now. 30? We definitely like 30. Let's put that out in MGC. We spike all the way up in that direction.
SMCI moving to the lows. ON, interesting. Remember, we had earnings yesterday. Had a pretty decent trade on this. This now trading back up. 44, the key level that we really couldn't break above and move from yesterday. Let's see if ON has the strength to do that here today.
Yeah, Apple's popping a little bit.
Yep.
Apple's the greatest stock on earth. You own Apple, you don't trade Apple.
You got that right. Bought that in 2014 and didn't trade it. I trade options around my core position.
How about 1985?
Yeah, you got me beat. I don't know what to say.
First bonus check I ever got on the Florida New York Stock Exchange, I bought a little Apple.
I came home from school one day when I was a kid, a real young kid, and I told my parents, I was like, Mom and Dad, you guys need to buy Google stock whenever you can, as much as you can. They didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
And Google has done what it's done now. I might even be looking at an early retirement if they had done that.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, now ES is breaking the bottom of the orb. So we just broke the bottom of the orb at 40. So this is a trade, guys and girls. Okay. We just broke the bottom of the orb at 40, and it just paid 1, 2, and 3 points. Boom. That is a momentum trade that we look for early in the morning. Anyone grab that, guys and girls? Just asking. Our bid side, guys, we have 32. We still like 32. Let's see. Yeah, we're coming down from 43. I like 32 if we get there fast. But that was your Momo trade. Boom. 1, 2, and 3 points.
NVIDIA gave up 190 here. I'm actually seeing more puts chase this move to the downside here in NVIDIA. Conversely, David, you were just talking about Apple seeing multiple Apple call sweeps here. This is for this week, so it looks like these are short-term trades, but these are upside trades on Apple.
NVIDIA, I would be a buyer for a trade around the 188 level. Small.
We're almost there.
Yeah. For a little trade ski, wait ski. All right, ESs are coming in like a hot potato. So we have a Fibonacci level at 32. Let's see if we can get down around there. We likey. Watching gold to see if it can spike up another $10. Usually if the market's going down, gold is going to be going up, right? So keep an eye on that.
Was someone buying the SOXS yesterday in the morning? I can't remember if that was happy hour or if that was in the morning. That thing ripping out of the gate on this market pull.
We just missed our 32, guys and girls. So here you go. This is an example now, right? We were bidding 32. We missed it by 50 cents. Chances are, if we go back down to that level, it's going to break. Yes, son of a beeswax. And that just paid us 3 points off that 32 level. Again, we missed. Oh, well.
There will be more.
Next trade.
Palantir here, this actually losing 180. Barat, what are you still looking for a Palantir short, or is that trade done for you? Let me know. That moving to the lows here, might as well check Rigetti Spaghetti and see how that's doing as well.
Yeah, 68.27 in the futures, guys, and that would be close to a far from moving average trade too. So let's see if we smack down into 68.27. Market's coming in pretty good here, huh?
Yeah, it is. And Rigetti here actually flirting with its pre-market low. You might see some more downside if that snaps and goes lower.
And gold is spiking up a little bit. So let's look at gold. Do we still like 30, guys? Let's go to 31 in gold. I like that. I'm going to keep it nice and small, but that's our 200 EMA. 65 EMA and a 30 EMA.
SGBX, this is one of the low floaters here. This actually pulled back, just retook VWAP. This actually looks like it's going for 350 here. SGBX. I'm not in this one, unfortunately.
All right, we're watching the ESs here, guys. Let's see if we can get down to this 27. Smackadaka, wackadaka. That is also a pivot point. So I think it probably works for a little trade. Again, we want it to go fast. We don't want a missy.
Netflix bouncing off 1150. Apple looks like it's going to try and take 275 and go higher than that.
They're selling everything and buying Apple.
Well, it got called something the other day, hotel safety or something. Someone came up with a really great term for Apple where people were just going there to hide. Looks like they're doing that again.
Looks like we just missed that NVIDIA by like 30 cents down there. So not so thrilled about that one anymore. Yeah, Apple's insane. Apple just broke above the 5-minute orb. Apple's previous day high, 275.70. I would be a short seller up there if we get there. We also
had Disney earnings here today. Looks like Disney is taking another leg lower here out of the open. Hedge fund hotel. There you go, Jay.
Disney's been like dead money for years now.
Yeah, it has.
Hasn't done anything.
Yeah, it has. We talked about that yesterday. We talked about, Disney. It seems like the next big catalyst here is if Iger moves on. It seems like that's what's really going to need to happen here.
Major Disney. Gold is turned back down. Nothing to do in gold. Okay. ESs are coming in here. Let's see if we can get there, guys.
And you guys that are trading Ondas here, awesome. For those of you that are trading it back and forth, absolutely awesome. It's given multiple moves here today. This looks like it's still going to flirt with 7. We'll see if we can get above that here. 7 tests coming, it looks like.
Oh, got the 27.25, guys. All right, let's give it one more minute here.
Let's check in with our guy, Peter.
Excuse me, guys. I apologize for all of this.
Oh, you
kind
suck.
of nuts here.
How did I get in? 30.
Peter, David doesn't speak for the rest of us. You don't suck.
Okay, good. I appreciate it. Thanks. Anyway, it's complete madness here. You've got the Dana White and PreMarket ringing the bell, and then I have this here, the young boy, the young man Hasbullah on the floor, and so it's been completely madness here, and the whole stock exchange has kind of gone crazy because the owner of the exchange gave $2 billion to PreMarket, and so there's all this, like, the place has just gone completely nutty. Anyway, let's give a breakdown of the market. So everybody realized that the whole government breakdown shutdown did not really affect the market in a negative way until like maybe a week ago. The oddest thing that really happened was the fact that people started looking at the Mag 7 and the whole tech sector and started like inferring that this was all a bubble. And it's so funny the way they sort of catastrophize all of this stuff. Everything, you've got a market that's being lifted by Mag 7 for 2.5 years, and then suddenly you have Palantir coming out, and you've got with earnings that were great, and then the stock went down 8%, and then suddenly there's a lot of this inference that this is all that the data centers are not going to happen, and all this stuff, and they love just to catastrophize and sort of and throw sort of a grenade into these things, which absolutely makes no sense. Obviously, the minute that the government decided to reopen, the market was up 105 handles on that first day. It was a little muted on day 2, and obviously, look, today you're going to see a little bit of profit taking too. Look, November is the month that is the most robust month seasonally of the year. We know that September and October tend to be weaker. This year they were not. And so some people feel that maybe there's going to be a little bit of a muted effect in November as we come into the holidays. All that being said, everyone needs to also realize that a lot of hedge funds and mutual funds and institutions close a lot of their funds at the end of October. And there's a little lot of labor because they've locked in. At this point, these guys are up. If they're tracking the S&P, they're up anywhere from 10 to 15 to the S&P is up 70% for the year. So why would you want to risk, especially with the government shutdown and with, the Federal Reserve inferring that December's interest rate cut was not a surety. That was that odd thing that, that Jay Powell said at the minute at 2:30. We were on with David. We saw that. That was the moment that the market really sold off because a lot of these funds are positioning themselves in very interest rate sensitive portfolios. And so the minute he said, and everyone was counting on at least one more cut in December. And when he said a December cut is no longer a surety, my gut is that was him poking the bear. He's not gone up against the president at all. I think that was a poke. And so that was what sold off the market. So all that being said, net with 43 days of a government shutdown for the market not to respond negatively until the last few days, I think was, quite something. And obviously a lot of it was the Federal Reserve, the tech stocks being pulled down by all of this chatter, which I just think is a lot of baloney, because we know that when you've got all the top companies, many of them are not even in the AI space, committing hundreds of billions of dollars to data centers and to that whole sector, then this is by far no bubble. This is not, people are comparing this to 1929 and to 1995, the internet bubble. You guys were not around. I was not here for the 1929 crash, even though some people think I was. So let's just be clear that the market seems super, super solid. We are in November, traditionally a good month. We are going to get another cut. At least as far as I can see, the probability is up to about 67% for another cut in December. But you're going to see a lot of rotation. A lot of people are going out of some overperformers and into some underperformers. We've seen the Russell be bobbed around, a lot of big volume there. Net, at the end of the day, the volatility is back. David has said that we've got 40-something days out of 45 where we've been successful trading. And so, we beg everyone to sort of hold on to the discipline and consistency rule and have their stop orders on everything because we are in a volatile mode. We also are a tweet away from crazy town. That's the bottom line. That's the nature of the markets right now. But November and December tend to be super volatile months, right? But historically, they tend to be up. Look, in down years, you usually see what's called window dressing, where they mark the market up a little bit at the close, because they're all being judged on their P&L at the close of business on the last day of the year. Normally, when the markets are down or up, you'd see profit taking at the end. You're going to start to see now a little bit of tax harvesting, right? People taking some of their winners off the table, or losers, to offset what they've made this year. Let's look at 2025. It's had everything thrown at it, yet the market's still trading at record highs across the board. So you know what? Look, we're traders. We're trading the futures, right? And the bottom line is we love volatility. That's our lifeblood. Market goes up because of earnings. That's the lifeblood of that market. 82% of the S&P beat on earnings. And so for that way, it's been a good year. But my gut is you're going to see some real volatility in the last couple of weeks of November, when we start to get an inkling of what the Fed plans on doing in December and around the December cut. Then you're going to see people start to position there. But you know what? There's not a surety of whether we close at the high. My gut is we close at Dow 50,000 and S&P 7,000. But you know what? I'm not here to predict the future. That's my gut. I've already had some hats printed up. We'll see what happens there. But right now, we're loving the volatility. We're loving the trading. We had a masterclass last night with David, and David was spectacular. Just look, a technical analysis has worked through all of this volatility. It's amazing when you see stocks go down 30, 40, 50 points and literally stop and turn around, right? Everyone's just going like, why has that happened? It's amazing how technical analysis works. So I defer to David. David's the master. You know, his strategies work. His discipline and consistency are the way to go. And it's a pleasure hanging out with you guys. And I'm sorry for my delay.
Oh, it's quite all right. Hey, Peter, I got a really quick question. First of all, David's here if he wants to jump back in. But did I just mute him? Sorry about that. I got a really quick question. What do you think we can expect for getting some of the government data that was delayed during the shutdown?
You know what? That's a great question. Apparently, we were supposed to get it all today, and then the White House decided they were going to put a kibosh on that, and that's why you're seeing a little weakness in the market right now. Look, at the end of the day, we should
far from moving average. Good. I'm sorry.
We should be. That's fine, baby. We should be getting that information, and it out. Really depends. The White House, you know, can gatekeep a lot of that stuff because they're in charge of this business. So I'm not clear. The first thing was we were going to have it. Then the White House said we're not going to give it up. So I'm not clear what's going to happen. I don't know is a legitimate answer.
Okay. So we don't know yet is actually the answer.
We don't know.
Got it.
The answer. Yes. All right. I pass it back to Dave. I love you guys.
Who knows?
Great to see you, Peter.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys and girls.
By the way, Marcus, really good call off that NBIS bounce off 85. It does. I know 84.50 was the low, but it does look like you're getting a pretty nice tradable bounce off that 85 area. I was able to scalp that off that. Good stuff there. Good stuff, Marcus. On an ON. I took that off my screen. We were looking for that 44 to go, saying that fell now. Come on, charts. Indeed, we are above 44 there. On ON.
Guys, 41.83 is good in gold. Okay. We just had a huge pullback in both the ESs and gold. I mean, a gigantic bar down. One of them set up for a nice fall from moving average trade that we look at. That was the ESs. If you look here, what we're looking for is a below 20 RSI, Ryan. That means that we're oversold, right? We were down 68.48, 29 points away from the closest moving average. Go to our 1 minute chart, and there it is. So the second we see this green bar on a 1 minute chart, and this is why we never have to average into anything, right? Second we saw this green bar, it was around 68.18, and in 1 minute, we got our 2 to 5 points, went up 6 points. So if we go to this 5 minute chart and everyone's getting anxious, where do I buy? Where do I buy? Where do I buy? This is the technical setup that we look for. We call it a far from moving average trade. It's exactly what it gave us. 1 minute chart, first green bar, and thank you very much. So there's no reason to ever average into anything. We just wait for that setup. Boom, chakalaka laka. All right, we got to change the orb to 945 now. And let's just look at this, guys and girls, okay? So we had our 930 orb up. This is the opening range breakout or breakdown. Look what happened when we broke the futures 935 orb. That was 68.40. We went down 20 points, guys. This is your momentum trade to the downside, okay? We broke that orb and went down 20 points. Let's look at gold.
Gold's coming in a little bit.
Look at gold, guys. 935 orb. We broke it. These are trades that everybody should be on top of, especially in a private trading room. We broke these orbs. Boom. Let's switch to the 945 orb now. And this is just a study, guys, that we have built into our charts. Everybody gets this. 15-minute. Boom, boom. Well, everything that you see here is included in anything that we do. Okay. So now we're looking at the 15-minute orb in gold. Again, we'll see if we can break the lows, right? So here's a setup now. If we break the lows, it's a short. If we test the highs of the orb, it's a short also. So we would short all the way up here. And if we break this, we'd look for a short. We have a Fibonacci in gold at 41.83. Guys, I like 41.75 in gold. Okay. Get rid of this.
Now, David, if it holds this area right here and starts to look like it's going to trade up, are you interested in a long?
No.
No, you're staying out of it if it's in that range. Got it.
The first place I would look is the trend trade, which is at 42.08, which would be up 15 points. That fits our trading criteria. If we spike up 15 points from here, look, if you're going to jump in now, your stop is the bottom of the orb. If you want to try and grab momentum here, but it's not a technical setup that I look for.
Okay.
So let's put out that 41.75. Oh, Ryan, I think we can give away a couple of counts before we get out of here if you want.
Well, you know what? Let's check in on how many likes we have, David. Let's see if we have enough likes to make. Producer, can you give me an accurate readout of what our likes look like here today? If they're high enough, we'll give out some accounts.
Only if they're high enough.
Only if they're high enough, though.
Only if they're high. I just post the Ryan. The only thing we have boot camp next week, so I can't have any visitors in. But you can post the website. Everybody can go check us out, wsgta.com.
Okay, so producer says only 89 likes, not looking good. So
how many people are here?
So I'll say this: we got to get above 125 in the next 4 minutes. 3 minutes now. We're running out of time. Got to give above 125. Next 3 minutes, we'll use that last 5 minutes to give those accounts away, David.
Beautiful. Well, good. Okay.
Joe is claiming blackmail. Joe, that's just how we do here. When all you have to do is click one little button that looks like a thumbs up, that's what we're going to do.
All right, guys, we are going to try the trend in the ES off the 15 EMA at 40. Okay. We get a big enough rally up there. And now we might look to buy the bottom of the orb again. But let's put out our 68.40 short. Boom, chaka-laka-laka. We'll also look at gold short if we can spike up far enough. Where's everybody sitting this morning? Talk to me, goosies.
BBAI, by the way, that might be bouncing here a little bit. It jumped up. Where are we at, producer? Let me know. We can give these accounts away a little bit early if we did that. I thought that was fast.
And Ryan, for this, everybody has to send an email to wsgta.com@gmail.com.
Okay, my producer's got a graphic that he'll put on screen for that. I like this idea too. Maybe if I could figure out a way to do this, I would absolutely do this. Excuse me. Day traders say likes should count for more. I say double when they happen before the stream starts. I love that we have folks that they're so eager to get at this that they're in here before we even start. Absolutely love that. Oh, we did it. Okay, sweet. David, let's go ahead and give some accounts away. How many you want to give away?
We got 5 accounts to give out.
All right, we got 5 accounts. Let me think about a number here real quick.
You know, I love the creative names, Ryan.
Me too. I'll be honest with you. Some of the handles that show up in this stream on YouTube they make me laugh. I absolutely love it. It literally like turns around my day. Okay, we're gonna give away 5 accounts. That means we're gonna look for 5s. Go ahead and flood the chat with 5s, and I will pick 5 winners for those free accounts. Just the number 5. Let's go ahead and get that done before we bring on 13 here.
Perfecto.
Oh, they're starting early. I'm sorry. Me will not count as 5. You will have to put the number in there. Here we go. We've got a ton. I'm just going to go ahead and start picking now. Let me randomize this list. Bang, bang, bang. All right. Well, boy, oh boy, we just talked about usernames. I'm going to give this a shot. I apologize if I butcher it. Gukak Wasing. I'm not even going to keep going. We're going to call you Gukak Wasing from now on. You are a winner. be sure to email. Producer, are you there? Can you throw up the email address that the winners have to email?
WSGA.com@gmail.com.
I might not have a producer right now. Sorry about that.
Everybody write it down then.
Thank you. Here.
WSGA.com@gmail.
Oh, it's pinned in the chat. Never mind. He already took care of it. It's pinned in the chat. Okay. Gukak, you are winner number 1. Let me go ahead and select another winner here.
Hold on, Ryan. What was that name?
What?
What was that name?
Gukak Wasing Brief Leclerc. You're just trying to get me to embarrass myself. I see how this goes. I see how it goes. All right. Next one here. This is much easier. Thanks, Rich. Rich 001X. You are the second winner. And I know I didn't butcher that one because that one was easy for me to read. Good stuff there. All right. Let's go to a third here. Next is going to be Hoot. Hoot, you are a winner. Congrats. That's 3, right? I've got 3 here. So now we need to do another one. All right, right here. Jammin57. Jammin57. You are also a winner here today. You're also, okay, last one. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no. Thano Blander. This is our Chipotle. This guy single-handedly is trying to support the price of Chipotle by eating there 3 times a week. You're a winner. Enjoy. Be sure to email. It's pinned in the chat, but I'll post it here as well. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Oh, you guys really flooded up the chat with 5s. I love it. I love it. Here we go. Here's the emails. Also, please CC shows@benzinga.com. I know some of you have emailed and said, hey, I never got my credentials. If you CC us, we can help you. David has lived up to every single account he has given away. So we will continue to do that.
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. And thanks, guys. Thanks for going along with the blackmail.
And guys, everybody in here, if you are not a subscriber of Benzinga Pro, please jump on that, guys and girls.
Indeed. And it's more than just a newswire, folks. There's 100%. Chat rooms in there. There's chat rooms in there. There's economic stuff. There's alerts, scanners, all types of stuff in there. And guys, how happy are you folks that are trading Ondas? This has given you 4 opportunities on a move through VWAP, pull back down to VWAP, and then another move higher. This is continuing here today. Grats to everybody that has been banking off of that. Fantastic. David, one of the things that I noticed here, I was actually looking at GLD. I know you were, right before we did that, we were breaking down the gold chart. Looks like this is, that's what you have up there, isn't it? Looks like this is bouncing.
It is.
Right off the bottom end of that range.
Hit the bottom of the orb and bounce perfectly. Yes. Boom. So we'll be looking to short the top of the orb now if we get up there.
Joe, that's nice of you to say. You're very polite, and I appreciate it. Joe says, Ryan, I owe my big ONDS gains to you. No, you don't owe your gains to anybody but yourself, and by circumstance, your family as well. Anytime you're doing any of this, whether it's a trade that David is looking at, a setup that David is looking at, 13, myself, or anyone in between, you are taking the risk when you press those buttons. It is even if you get an idea from somebody else, when you put your money on the line to risk it, you deserve what comes from that. So 100%. I appreciate the kind words. I'm glad I put it on your radar. I'm glad I gave you something else to trade. But brother, if you are risking your own funds, you deserve it all.
That's right. Everybody pushes their own buttons, but
that's right.
Congrats. We want everybody to do well. We are just guides and we're just trying to teach you, pass along the knowledge that we have. That's all.
And a lot of the knowledge that I have came from 2 things. It came from somebody that was more experienced than me, that shared expertise without asking for anything in return. So I always try to pay it forward because I got that kind of help when I was starting. And the second thing that comes from, lessons. I've made many mistakes. Some of them have been more expensive than others, and I still do, David. That is exactly right.
This is a journey. I will say this. We had our, before we get out of here, our monthly webinar last night. We had like 800 people there. And It's just about this. This is a journey. It is not an easy thing to do. At least anyone tell you, oh, I made this, I made that. This is a very difficult thing to do. And it comes back mostly to our mindset and following rules and stuff like that. But it's not easy, but you'll get out of it what you put into it. The more you practice your craft, the more you learn. Listen, I'm doing this for 40 years and I have no ego. If someone comes to me today and says, Dave, I have a technical that's been working for me. I've journaled 100 trades. It has a 72% hit rate. I'm using it. So there's no ego, right? You always have to be willing to learn. I still learn things from people that come into my private 100%. Trading room. I never knew not that I never knew, but I never used Fibonacci's to trade. We probably get 30 to 40% of all of our trades based on Fibonacci's now. So nobody knows it all, okay? And just pick up little bits and pieces from anybody that you think is helping. I think mentorship is one of the biggest parts of this, right? I think you need somebody, especially if you're a beginning trader or struggling, not to basically hold your hand through the process. And that's what we do at WSGTA. Lifetime mentorship for everybody, yada, yada, yada. All right. I know we're up against it. Right?
Yeah, it's okay. One more thing that I want to say, David, you've been around longer than I have, so I'd like to get your opinion on this. I know that some people look at Wall Street, trading, the markets, finance, they look at it as kind of like it's a hard club to get into. People are greedy. They don't want to share. That's not been my experience. And in fact, it's actually been the opposite. Folks that have been in this for a long time, they love talking about it. They love sharing knowledge. And it behooves you to try and get as much of that as you can.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
So that will always be something that we do around here.
Those are the people that you want to find. Those are the people that you want to find. I can tell you this right now, guys and girls. I make 10 times more trading than I do selling any courses. That's just a fact. We have made them so affordable for everybody. We just want to help. We are really, and I see it in Ryan too, generally just want to help people.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
Bottom line.
Absolutely. All right, David, really good stuff here today. Really appreciate it. We're going to catch up with you next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I waited intentionally till the end to do this. I'm really sorry about your Giants, but brighter days are ahead.
Thank you very much. At least it's not the Jets, although the Jets are just as good now. Whatever. Thank you for leaving me with that, Ryan. I appreciate it.
David, you're welcome. Take care. Be well. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
David Green, everybody. Congrats to all of you account winners out there. Really good stuff from him, and his departure leaves room for 13. 13, let's go, dude. How you doing?
Man, oh man, are these movers giving us trades?
Yes, they are. Today is a good one. What do you got? I'll put it on screen here.
Well, I was trading ONDS. That's trying to get back up to 7. It's right on the doorstep right now. So that has provided a few good trades. MGRX did provide one good trade. I wasn't around for when it knifed. I just noticed that it did, but it came back down to the trend line that we drew and the 200 EMA, kind of getting some support there, but I'm not sure I like this one anymore. IDN, this one also had a nice run up towards 7, got as high as 695. This was the one that broke out over that trend line that we drew on the daily.
Yep.
I mean, that was just a fantastic move over the trend line. Took it all the way up over $1. But now it's come back in to VWAP, so this party might be winding down.
It actually looks like it's struggling to get back above my VWAP here at 642, so I think you might be right on that.
LVLU just moved over its 65 EMA for the first time in the regular session. It's looking like it's struggling to hold above it, but that was another mover from this morning that's providing some good trades. And then, of course, we have SGBX, which it didn't get exactly to $4, but man, did it look like it wanted it. Got all the way up to $398 before it backed off. It's getting some support down around the 305 area, 310 area. Maybe this does turn around here, but we do have that VWAP in the way, so got to clear that as well.
Okay. I was looking for that here, and I had my cursor in the wrong box. I'm sorry about that, 13. Let me pull up SGBX here.
And that's good news, Jay. I like that. I'm sure Lion does too. We do like Merck.
Okay, so Jay, you had said there's been massive amount of long-term call buying on this name all week. Jay, I can take a look at the options chain, but do you know any of the strike and the expiries off the top of your head? Merck power move out of the gate here, up 2.5%.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, it looks like there was some more. So Jay's on to something here because it looks like there was some more trading going on today in the 95 call. Looks like the 85, 90, and 95 call have had a ton of action here recently. Also the 100 call.
Yeah, those are all resistance levels that were previously support. And we just had a golden cross earlier this month, last week. This is, curling up. This looks like it's going to go to the 500-day SMA. Now, there should be some pullback coming soon, probably around somewhere between 95 and 100, because we are getting pretty extended here in a short period of time. I do think that we're going to see a brief cooling off period, and then we can continue to go higher. But that's kind of what the price action is telling me right now. It's been great month so far with this stock. I mean, the first day of the month, we lost the 200 EMA. I'm sorry, day SMA, and then we just turned around, and it's been green days ever since. January 100s. Okay.
Jan 100s. Yeah, I can actually see that. And the other thing that's crazy about that is actually it looks like they took some in December as well. But Jay's right. 20,500 held open at that January 100 strike. $2 ask on those calls, by the way. This Merck to me sure looks like it's going to go to 100.
IDN is recapturing the VWAP.
That's IDN, right? India.
IDN.
Okay.
Yep.
Delta November, just to finish that off. Palantir, more new lows here. And by the way, Crow mentioning CYPH. CYPH, I don't have it here in my, do I? No, this is the one that changed the ticker yesterday. This was, what was it yesterday? IN something RX. God, I can't remember the ticker yesterday. It was a ticker change. We talked about it. It was a penny stock that ended up going ballistic yesterday. It's CYPH here today. That's near the highs, up at 178.
Ooh, big pull in SGBX.
That's the low float one. Oh, no.
One of them.
No, what are you doing?
LVLU also had a big pull.
That's the other really low float name. LPTX. Thank you, day trader. Thank you.
MGRX also losing some levels. Movers getting a pull back here. Might provide another opportunity. We'll see. Everything just looks like it kind of froze.
Yeah, it did. Ondas at least froze up near that $7. That's actually not so bad. Netflix pulled back, never really tested the 200. That's trying to move higher.
As far as the SPY goes, I mean, this is exactly what we wanted to see, or we were talking about, because we got that reversal candle yesterday. We were talking about how the government reopening would be a sell the news event. Sure enough, we have gapped down, lost the 680 support level, and ended up testing the 20-day SMA on the SPY, but we have reversed.
This is good. I didn't even realize this either. Day Trader says, I added a starter on CYPH today. The Winklevoss twins are running this, and I'm betting on them, frankly. That's been a good bet to bet on them. I don't think I realized that when we talked about this yesterday. That's good stuff.
ONDS is up at 7 again. This is where it was getting rejected. Maybe this time it actually breaks through. Big seller in the way at 710.
Oh, look at this. ON. It peaked above that 44, but couldn't hold above it. Watch for maybe another move through 44. VWAP there, 43.59.
All right. This took out that seller at 710. Let's see if it can climb higher.
712, your high.
Yep. We're right there right now through 715 new high.
Right there, right now. I love it.
Well, he's singing because this is his favorite stock.
Right. Absolutely.
AMD Rippy. Now, are you saying it's ripping or is it dying? Looks like it's not doing a whole lot here on the daily chart. It did go higher from the open, but looks like it's run into some resistance here from the after hours sideways consolidation. See if it can get through that. We want to see some prints above 160, I think, don't we? That'd be pretty good. ONDS new high 725. Fantastic stuff there.
Take me home on this roads. We also have the 50-day coming up here, 741 ONDS.
CYPH is waking up, says Christoph.
Meta coming off its bottom here.
All right, let me go back to smaller time frame. So,
SGB maybe trying to recapture that 65 EMA. I don't like it yet, though.
yeah, I don't know. This is that loss to the 65 EMA. We'll see what happens because we did have some trading happen underneath the 65 EMA, but this has generally been a support area for it. This move down here towards the 200 EMA, not great. I feel like if we do get some recovery, it's going to have a hard time getting it back above that 65 EMA. We'll see what happens.
The quantum names that were weak here, they look like, at least so far, have put in an intraday bottom. They're not breaking down anymore yet here. RGTI bouncing a little bit. I don't think this is going to give entry yet on RGTZ. I don't think we're there yet.
So when it comes to RGTI, that spot that we both kind of looked at as where the price is going to head to, 28, the bottom of that channel. Mm-hmm. So we got that. That's now going to be a resistance level. So if we do trade back up towards 28, and
there it is.
What?
No, I'm saying if we do trade back up towards 28, that's going to be your entry trigger.
For RGTZ.
For RGTZ,
that might be it for me. Yeah. So we'll see what the price action is. I'm not just going to jump in as soon as it gets there. I want to see what happens first, but I think that's going to be the spot is 28. So we'll see if it works.
Yeah. Sorry for being confusing there. I was trying to set up for what folks can look for the next trade. That makes sense there.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like you are getting a little bit of a lift here in SGBX up towards the 65 EMA. We'll see if it gets a recapture or not. LVLU, that's also trying to recover. IDN's back above the VWAP right now, but I don't know. The volume has really kind of waned off. I'm not sure if this is going to continue to hold above the VWAP. Be careful with IDN. MGRX losing the 200 EMA. Some of these movers from this morning, they were pretty good, not looking so good at the moment. On even came back down from 44.72. That was great right out of the gate, where it just sold off down to 41.54, and then it just ripped $3.
D-Pro, this is Dragonfly. This is another drone name that we've talked about. This was trying to bounce here.
I think I kind of want to, when it comes to some of these names, I think just waiting for the SPY to stop selling off or maybe even rebound. I mean,
the SPY has.
Yeah, it has, and it's up at 680 right now, which is now a resistance area. So if we can recapture it, then I think we're going to be back in business. It looks like we're getting above it. Let's see if it can hold above it. So that would probably be good for some of these other names, or the sentiment overall. IONDS 730, looking for more. Just got to get through this seller at 730. Next big seller looks like it's up at 750. LVLU with a big move back up through the 200 EMA on low volume though, so not sure how great that is. So waiting for SGBX to recapture at 65 EMA. Looks like some of these names are turning around. BBAI was getting mentioned.
What a move in Albemarle. God, we talked about this sub 100, 120 coming on Albemarle.
Oh yeah, I've got a pretty low price on this.
Yeah, what a move. This was a great mention. Good stuff on this one. Shout out to Zoltan.
Yep, Zoltan was on this too.
Zoltan put this one on my radar a long time ago.
My God, it's amazing that it's got this much move. So my cost is $78.
Ooh, nice. Nice. My last ad on Albemarle was in a mid 80 handle, and I thought I was doing well. Damn, 13.
I'm getting, it's over 50% of a gain. So I'm doing pretty good in this one.
Yeah.
Still waiting for this to go to 200.
That was yesterday. Okay.
So here's let's go, Lion. He's going long on Nike.
Now, we were just talking about retail names. Jay, I see a lot of retail names green, a lot of them beaten up. A&F, Target, Lulu, etc. Nike, would you throw Nike on that? I mean, I think I would. Samel asking, is it late to get into Albemarle? So that depends on what your long-term view is. do you think that the critical minerals and like lithium and stuff like that is going to be important going forward? If so, and you have a long-term view on that, 13, didn't you just say your price target was 200?
Yes.
So that's like 80 some points away.
Yes.
So I think a lot depends on your plan and your time horizon on Albemarle. I don't know that chasing the big move that we've had for a quick trade is the right way to go. But I still like it long term.
Yeah, look at the daily for Albemarle. And
here, I'll go to my bigger one. We'll chart it out.
And when you look at that, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to chase that. So for me, I think if you are going to want to take a position in Albemarle, probably be better to wait for a good entry, because we've been gapping up for the past few days or a couple of days.
Yeah. So I wouldn't chase this move. I'd probably wait for maybe a retest of 100. Maybe we even break below 100 a little bit. I wouldn't chase these candles higher here, because even if this just has a pullback next week, you're going to be several points under that.
And look at the RSI. We're getting pretty extended here. So I don't think this is I don't want to discourage anybody from not, taking a position in this, but I don't think this is the right time to do it. When it's so extended and at risk of pulling back, let it come back in, and then you'll get a better entry.
Indeed. And yeah, I like it long term, but I just want to be clear on what type of time horizon you have on that, because that's really going to be important here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good stuff on Albemarle. Woot woot, as they say.
Back to the movers. IDN went a little bit higher, up towards 675, and then it's back down. It's trying to get some support from VWAP. Not sure if it's going to hold. Looks like the momentum is starting to slow down in this one. ONDS still printing more new highs in the regular session, but even this one is starting to lose a little bit of volume and look like it could come back in.
And then, Jay, really quick, you were just talking about the retail names there. I don't know if I've ever asked you for this before. Let me know if you have an opinion here on AS. 13, if you want to chart out AS, I'd be interested in that too. Not to give you homework or make you do something, but just curious here what you guys think of AS. I am trying to swing this into early next year. This is the parent company of the brand Arc'teryx that I've noticed is really kind of gaining popularity and extremely expensive. So just wondering here.
I have charted this. All I've done really, though, is draw a trend line. Would you like to know where?
I think I can see it.
Nope.
No. Okay. Then you will have to tell me. Probably right here.
Yes. Start with that and draw it all the way up through the lows. This is the trend line that I think is going to tell you when we're about to go lower. Now we're coming up to, we're getting a death cross pretty soon. So that's already concerning. And I think that this trend line that we just drew, this is going to be the next thing to go. So if we lose this trend line, I think we're going to continue to see more downside.
Okay. So it sounds to me like you think there's going to be some more downside. We have earnings in 5 days. That's going to be Tuesday morning. So we'll see what happens here on those earnings. I am long this. I'm long the March 40 calls on this name.
SGBX did recover the 65 EMA. It's trying to trade higher, but still encountering some resistance up in the 315s. Looking for anything else that's interesting here. Still waiting to see what happens with Ondas. It's looking like this is going to come back in a little bit more, but you do have $7 as support. Big seller in the way for Ondas right now at 726. You see that? It's like 500,000 shares plus.
Yep, sure do.
Big resistance there. If we get enough volume, maybe we can push through it, but that's a lot of shares to chew through. What do you think Mrs. Pelosi will write? A trading book? Well, I don't think she's the one that's been doing the trading.
I was going to say that's like a two-step process. Like step 1, have your husband do the trading. Step 2, work in government. Step 3, just insider trade.
Yeah, but in the forward, it'll probably say for Nancy.
That's almost a pamphlet rather than a book.
Yeah. I
just used the word pamphlet today. That is a win too.
The whole trading strategy that they have is one of them goes into Congress, gets all of the information they need, and then they tell their husband and they can make trading decisions. That's the strategy. LVLU, nice recovery here. Getting over the VWAP, still has to clear the 65 EMA, but this slow-moving stock that we looked at this morning is still trying to trade higher. Now, this is the one that we were like, is this connected to Lulu in any way?
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah.
And this is the one that had the really bad earnings, but because they have two positive EBITDA quarters, apparently that's enough for the stock to run. So that's what it's doing right now. Looks like we got a reversal in RGTZ. So
Yep, I was just looking at that.
Rigetti's still going lower now. If this doesn't go back up to 28 and test that channel that we drew, the next support to the downside is going to be a trend line that I've drawn, and that is going to take us to about 2350. You'll never buy our book, even if it's given away for free, even if they pay you to take it.
Oh, I'm interested in that. Someone wants to pay me to take something. I'm interested in that. I'll listen to that.
Joe, I'm using my broker's price ladder, and I've got level 2 data. It shows me where all the sell orders are, the limit orders.
And I have Thinkorswim, and it does a lot better job now after that update that we got a couple of weeks ago.
Well,
SMDX, this is popping on volume here. I almost wonder if there was news for this.
SMDX. Pharmaceuticals.
Index Pharmaceuticals. I don't have any news here today.
No, I don't.
Let's see if there was anything squawked on this. Nope, not today.
I wonder.
Don't see anything fresh on there. It just looks like a volume pop.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's some other piece of news that came out previously about today. I don't know if it's it could probably be something with the FDA. It could be something about a clinical trial. I'm not exactly sure, but there's a lot of news about FDA approval, so could have something to do with that. There's also high short interest too.
Love hearing this, Nathan. I will tell him that, but I'll give you a register ring and a Chewbacca yell here. Thank David for me. Got AMD 248.90. We talked about that 248, 249, 250 area being support. And you've already made $8 a share on that trade. Way to go, Nathan. Akin, you're asking what's new on Thinkorswim that I noticed. They redid the trading ladder. In fact, Thinkorswim calls it the active trader tab that you can add to a chart or a flexible grid. And they changed it so that I see more of these buyers and sellers on the actual ladder itself. The values that I see are much higher. It almost looks like a more complete view. And I actually see more cells filled in with numbers. Now, it goes away as the price moves away from it, and then when the price returns, it populates those same numbers again. I just feel like I see more since that update.
Not all of them lying. Some of them are sycophants.
Costco, that up at 920. And I know we were joking earlier. Look at the weakness in Tesla. We joked about this coming down to the key support level of 420.69. It blew right past it.
LVLU up to the 65 EMA now. Hasn't been able to clear it yet. IDN still getting support from VWAP.
Did we get the volume on LVLU? Not yet. We got that one pop earlier, but we haven't got it recently.
Well, the only big volume sticks that we got were selling. So that should tell you something about what happens when we get up to certain levels. So just be careful with this one. Man, Rigetti still losing steam here. We might get a new low pretty soon. ONDS.
Amazon puts getting bought, so Amazon been notably weak here today. Palantir down near the lows there, 176, actually just beneath 177.
So Microsoft's still doing okay. Matter of fact, that's not doing too bad at all. I don't know that we're going to necessarily see the other side of the 50 and 20-day SMAs. Remember that Microsoft does, go through a lot of free cash at the end of the year. So we could see their stock price come down into maybe about in the middle of the 400s. We could lose 500 and go a little bit lower, but after that, I think we're going to come back up and we'll see 600 next year.
SGBX here. This just recaptured its 65 EMA. We'll see if this can move back up to the VWAP. I've got that at 331. The volume not cooperating here with SGBX, so kind of want to wait that out. But good constructive move on the chart so far.
Yep, 2 closes above the 65 EMA now.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get a third, that'd be pretty good. But yeah,
maybe that third will lure some volume in 13.
It's just it still looks a little weak right now. We are 5 minutes away from when volume does really leave the market. So just be careful with some of these movers.
Jay here saying, I think the quantum names still are going lower, but they might have some bounces. Target IONQ to 40. Jay, what did you make of the IBM news yesterday? That to me seems like IBM. I know 13, you had said Honeywell in there, so I guess we'll include that as well. But that to me seems like that's going to be a company that's actually going to win from quantum at a minimum much quicker than something like a Rigetti.
There's going to be, so I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think it's going to happen, that there will be a turnaround in the AI names. And when the AI names turn around, I think it's going to bring the quantum names up with it. We were getting, there's been a lot.
You're thinking rotation out of some of those AI names into the quantum ones?
Well, maybe, but I still think that when the AI comes back, that it's going to bring quantum back up with it. Is what I'm
okay.
thinking.
I got you. So now, the quantum bounce is going to follow AI. Got it.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's going to be, some of these junkier names like Rigetti. I don't think it's going to be those that are going to really have the really big comebacks. It could be IBM, it could be HON, it could even be this inflection SPAC that's happening, because that's also quite an interesting name. So there are a handful of real interesting quantum names, and NVIDIA is already working with inflection to bring their CUDA-Q platform into fruition. That's going to be their quantum platform. So they're already working on this. And with IBM's news, it's really looking like that quantum isn't as far away as a lot of people have been saying. Not me. I've been saying it's right around the corner.
I was going to say, when it actually happens, let's save the victory lap for when it actually happens. I was on the other side of that. I was thinking 5 to 10 years too. I thought 15 might have been a little high, 5 to 10. And we'll see if we do get it before that. And then the other thing here regarding IONQ and Rigetti, this is also something that we have discussed quite a bit recently when talking about these quantum names. Rigetti needs cash bad. IONQ at least raised money, so it actually has some. Rigetti's going to need it real soon here. Jay saying IBM has earnings, Ryan. Those names don't. It's kind of that's kind of what I'm thinking here. IBM used to trade at a 12 PE. I think IBM is fine. The shares are going to be reevaluated and getting a higher PE. I would agree with that wholeheartedly, Jay.
So, the thing about Rigetti is that they need to start showing that these orders that they say that they're getting are actually making it into their bank accounts or balance sheets, because I haven't seen that yet. So, Rigetti, I think this stock's worth $2. I don't think it's a fraud company. I just don't think it's anywhere near the valuation.
You think it's overvalued?
Way overvalued. It's nowhere near the valuation. This thing is, with all the selling that's happened, it's still a 9.3 billion market cap. But it's got revenue of less than 2 million. Makes no sense. I don't think it's worth the valuation up here. So yeah, definitely a short for the foreseeable future.
NVIDIA, boy, this intraday chart looks like more lows coming here.
Huang said 5. When did he say that? Because that's not what he said initially.
Yeah, he did. He walked it back. Brian's right. He walked it back and changed it to 5. He had, that was during when I think he said 15, and then like the next day
20 to 30. 20 to 30.
You're right. I think it was 20 to 30, but he reaffirmed that. He walked that one
that's
back.
That's a big walk back. So it kind of makes him a little hard to trust to me. IBM is holding up. Nice. Yeah, see, spaghetti. It's spaghetti. I think
it's catching. It's catching on, and I'm here for it.
I think you're the same thing. It's not a fake company, not a fraud company, but nowhere near the valuation that it's got right now.
This IDN chart, this looks like this is going to try and go higher too. IntelliCheck, was this in that same authorization verification theme that we talked about?
You know, now that you say that, I don't know. It might be. Let me look into this and see
Stop
what this
identity
is.
theft and fraud with real-time identification, authentication, and age verification.
It's working.
It is. It is that theme is working.
Did you
I'm
see what
glad we
IDA
discussed that one
Did you see what IDAI did
today?
I think it was over the overnight, but yeah, it popped up to 5 again, and then it came right back down.
Yeah, 495 was IDAI's high yesterday.
It really wants to get over 5, but there is, I think that what I was looking at was a pretty good resistance area. Let me just double check this here. But yeah, it really does want to get over 5. It's been trying. Okay, so yeah, I've got a trend line that it's trying to get over. 480 also a resistance level. So I think that's what needs to happen. We need to see some closes over 480 because we've been testing this level and printing over it, but not closing over it since September.
Pepsi introducing new versions of its popular snacks that strip out artificial dyes.
Cool.
How about that?
Is that making it go higher? Yeah, kind of.
I was just reading the breaking news here. I just think that's better for everybody long term.
Yeah, Pepsi, the daily chart does look pretty good. It's getting some resistance from the 50-day SMA, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case for a whole lot longer. Maybe it gets through it today, maybe tomorrow. That's what needs to happen, though. We need to see this close above the 50-day SMA. All right.
And folks, really quick, let me just get the bills paid here real quick, 13.
Sure.
We don't have an all access here today, but we do have a webinar coming up here unveiling the CBOE's Magnificent 10 Index, a new way to trade the tech titans. So Benzinga and the CBOE are hosting an exclusive pre-launch webinar you won't want to miss. We're giving you an early look at the CBOE's brand new Magnificent 10 Index. The ticker for that is MGTN. It's a bold benchmark designed to capture the pulse of the U.S. large cap tech and growth. Housed by Henry Schwartz from CBOE and Gianni DiPoci from Benzinga, they will break down the design, the methodology, and what makes this equal weight index, featuring the Mag 7 stocks plus AMD, Broadcom, and Palantir, all of the goodies that you folks are waiting for. You'll also hear about the upcoming launch of options and futures on MGTN, trading nearly 24/5, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and how this product suite can give you efficient exposure to today's market leaders. Don't go anywhere. That webinar is coming up right after 13 and I finish here.
So that sounds like something that I probably wouldn't want to get right away because it's got a lot of the names that are really extended. But it makes a lot of sense of the names that are in them.
But you want to stick around for that option segment because they're going to tell you when you can get puts.
There you go. Now, one thing that I would kind of wonder about is this opportunity to go along with CBOE?
That's a good thought.
Look at CBOE. This has been on quite a handy run here. Hey, look at the daily.
Producer is talking about Pepsi Clear. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, that was what a novelty that was when it came out.
Hey, they ain't no Sprite.
Oh man, I remember like taking allowance money down to the gas station, buying a bunch of them, putting them in the fridge, hiding them so that other people couldn't take them. Oh, that's good times. That's some nostalgic mention right there, producer. Nostalgic mention right there.
Yeah, they've done some pretty interesting things over the years with soda. Remember those Coke vanilla commercials?
Which one?
Or how
I mean,
about,
I remember vanilla Coke, but
yeah, or how about when they had lime? Or they had that you put the lime in the Coke.
Oh, yes, I do.
Remember when commercials used to be great?
I you know what? You remember the Budweiser frogs?
Oh, dude.
I mean, dude, there were so many like commercials actually weren't like they didn't make me want to pry my eyes out with spoons, and now they do. And it's like I feel like every commercial is either for erectile dysfunction or some other drug. It's just like anyway. NVVE. This is a penny stock. I normally don't mention these, but after yesterday, the huge run that we saw from one of those penny stocks, it's actually continuing today. Perhaps we'll mention it here. This looks like a 50 bust. Take care of yourself, Lion.
Take care, Lion. NVVE. Let me just look at this real quick because this might be in our battery theme.
This is a Japanese battery company.
It's electrical equipment. I'm not exactly sure what all their equipment is. Let me look at their homepage here. Microgrid batteries, microgrids, and vehicle to grid for intelligent electrification. So this is kind of interesting. Probably going to have to be one that I put into the watch list for the battery theme that we're looking at for next year. What's their balance sheet look like? Interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I just was saying it was interesting.
I'm not even talking about. I'm answering a question here. No, I do not remember OK Soda. Don't remember that.
Must not have been that okay. I'm going to put this in the battery theme. This is interesting. I'll look into this some more.
And several of you folks were mentioning Ripple earlier, right? XRP. Here's the Ripple 2X long ETF.
It's best to not know what they do. Well, I don't want to own anything I don't know what they do. Might as well gamble. It looks like SGDX.
I'm not going to. I'm going to stay away from those penny names.
Look, it's just interesting. I'm not saying I'm going to just start buying it up. It's going to be one that I'm just going to keep an eye on.
And so just to be clear, so a lot of the times when we figure out a new stock that we find interesting or we're going to look into, we're going to do exactly that. It doesn't necessarily mean buy right away. It means do some work on it, do some homework on it.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a bunch of names that we're going to look at for a particular theme that we're trying to explore. One of them's batteries. We were just talking about another one that we're looking at for next year. Can't remember what it was, but food, consumer defensives and staples. Those are going to be. That's kind of a thing that we're looking at next year. Rigetti continues lower. And LVLU is still trying to get above that 65 EMA. IDN at a resistance area where the seller is at 672. We can get through that. We might see 7.
And that IDN chart, that looks nice. That volume was there all day so far, or has been there, I guess I should say, all day so far.
Yeah, it was pretty good looking company. Actually had revenue and had cash, so it was looking pretty good. And because it's in that theme, as a matter of that's it. That was the other one, the identity theme. That's the other one. So IDN and VVE, two different stocks for 2 different themes going into next year.
Bitcoin looks like it might break lower here, and the VIX sitting at 1860. That actually looks like that might move higher. Market totally pulled. SPY back down to the lows here.
Oh gosh, the Zima beer movement. I can't talk about that because I have a great story that's kind of inappropriate, so I won't tell it here, but I'll tell you about it another time, Ryan.
Okay.
It's just a story that I know about from high school.
I have a Zima beer story that's a little bit more clean. Okay. Still a little risque, but more clean. When I was a kid, my mom or dad, I think it was my mom, had a bunch of Zimas we had 2 fridges. We had one fridge in the garage, which we had a lot of drinks in. And a couple of my buddies were spending the night, and we decided that we were going to have a little drink. Yeah, you know how kids do. We decided we're going to have a little drink. And so we went into the fridge, and the only thing that wasn't picked from the fridge was the Zima. It stayed there untouched.
So just looking at KURA, because Dara, I believe is the pronunciation name. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. I was mentioning that it is halted for news and featured a new FDA approval for their ziftomenib drug.
This has been halted for a while. I actually looked at this earlier here.
Okay.
But I don't, this not really in my wheelhouse here. This is still halted though, right, Kura?
Yeah, it halted at about 40 minutes ago. I'm wondering if there's something else coming, like an offering. Let's look at their financials. They got a lot of cash, so might not be the case, although they do lose a lot of it. They've got about a quarter, a little more than a quarter's worth of cash, if they, given this current runway that they have. I don't know if that's what else is coming. There's certainly going to be some other news with how long this has been halted. I just don't know what it is. All right, so looking like SGBX could not hold above the 65 EMA. This looks like it's going to come down to the 200 EMA again. LDLU still trying to recapture. IDN still trying to get above 675. There's not a whole lot of action happening right now, except maybe Ondas might be getting back up through its VWAP. Just saw it reversing here. Let's see if we get some more volume to push up through VWAP.
Hey, Chris, good to see you again. I haven't been around because I started working for Disney again. Interesting that you showed up in the morning that they reported earnings, brother. Hopefully you are well. The bad news is that my Bears play your Vikings this weekend. So I hope to see you around here. I hope all is going well in your corner of the universe.
Good to have you back. Hit the like for our returning champion. I remember Zima, someone that brought on, I can't be tricked, nobody drink it.
That's what I mean. Like even underage kids that were like, I'm gonna try liquor. They had no interest in Zima. They wanted something else.
Back to Smirnoff's it is.
Smirnoff, man. Oh.
What's everybody looking at for a trade here? Because it doesn't seem like
I got no trade setups, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's really anything that's setting up for a good trade. And things that do look like they're setting up, it's a question of do they have enough volume? And I'm just not seeing a lot of that right now. I mean, some of these short ETFs are just absolutely killing it right now. RGTZ and PLTZ are great today. Disney got hurt attendance-wise by the ATC issues, so those issues are going to pop up next quarter as well. How about their? So, Brian, did you happen to catch that video that I sent you in Slack?
I saw that you sent it, but I didn't watch that one yet.
So
I dove right into hockey last night. 13.
So apparently October was the worst month for movies in 30 years. Worst revenue. So we're going to see some of that come through in their earnings as well. I would imagine that we are. But tell me if you could, let me know what you're seeing on the Disney side. I'm sorry, on the movie side of Disney. Still in SGBX. 308 average. I hope it recaptures. It just kind of looks like since we lost that 65 EMA again, it's looking to get weaken some more.
It had the one move higher, and then it was like, I'm not going to do anything the rest of the day here.
And it was a move higher on what? We still didn't have any news on that. So
no, it's just volume. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was going to be a risky proposition either way. But as soon as we got up close to 4 and backed off, that might have been it. Now, maybe this comes back later on today. I don't know if it will, because again, there's no news that's really driving this thing. It's just kind of a low float mover. Let's see what happens down at the 200 EMA. I think it's going to come down there. That's been support in the pre-market, that area where it's at, which down around 270, 275. So we'll see if we get support there. But I think the price is going in that direction.
Did you see this news headline? This is for Flutter, ticker FLUT, the parent company of FanDuel here. FanDuel and the CME Group unveil new prediction markets platform to launch in December.
Well, that's certainly, well, wait, is that what's turning it around? Or
no, it had earnings as well. So
no, I know that's why it's down, but is that what's turning it around?
No,
right
this came out right with the earnings. The reason that I'm asking you about this is because one of the things that you had been on is that the prediction markets were going to eat up and then eventually beat these sports betting companies. But it looks like what's actually happening is that the sports betting companies are trying to get ahead of that and join the prediction markets early. And it looks like that's exactly what Flutter is doing here.
We'll see. I mean, I think they may be a little late to the party, but I don't think that they're going to miss out on some cake. DraftKings
Take care, Judge.
Take care, Judge. That's the one that I've been talking about going lower, and
that's the better one to go lower, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah, and we did get some recovery here. I don't know if that was on earnings or what was it. Let's see, that was on the 7th of November. I
think DraftKings is down today in sympathy with Flutter, to be honest.
Well, it's probably that's likely the case, but I was referring to the move down was on earnings. That was on the 6th after hours, and that is when we started to rebound. Now, I don't know. It's still having a hard time recapturing that 20-day SMA. We're trading beneath 30 again. Wouldn't surprise me if we gave all that back.
Okay. Real quick here, Chris saying, does Hood come out with a sports book? I don't think they're in the prediction markets. They've talked about that though, haven't they? I feel like Hood wants to be your center for everything: sports betting, prediction, investing, crypto, the whole 9 yards.
I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I mean, look at the things they've been getting themselves into. It's just a matter of time before prediction markets and sports betting is in there too, because what they're offering mortgages now. Hood, isn't that what's the case? Is they're offering mortgages to
that was more of like a incentive. Like if you use their thing, you got like bonuses that really didn't amount to much. I don't know if they're actually originating the mortgages themselves.
Yeah, they're just. It seems like they're just in everything, or they're trying to get in everything. So it wouldn't surprise me if sports betting came up next.
Tesla continuing to pound the lows. 405. A break of 4 is actually on deck here.
Wow. Rigetti still climb. Rigetti is sinking. RGTZ is still climbing, and it may continue to climb further.
Izzy here saying everything's down, so unless you really have short instruments there, probably not doing anything great.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we're going to see Rigetti get all the way down to 2350 today. It could. It could, and it might. NASDAQ sinking hard. I called, it's not that I called it. It's just that it with the government reopening, that was a sell the news event. We were talking about that for a while.
We have been on that for weeks.
Yeah.
Once the market really started to trade up during the shutdown, that's when we first started to speculate that, when this ends up getting resolved, and it will get resolved, that might be a sell the news event. And sure enough, here we are. Archer buy zone.
Yep. Let me look at this. So we're still coming down some more. I've got 690 marked off here. I've had this marked off for a time. That could be a buy area. We are getting pretty. We're not oversold yet, but we're getting there. We could still go down to 7. It looks like. Now, as far as a buy zone goes, it's hard because I don't want to make it seem like this is where we're going to catch this falling knife. I don't want to make that prediction. It just looks to me like here's some levels to keep an eye on, and you can make the decision about the levels for buying. 690, like I said, the 500-day SMA, and if it happens to get down there, 520. Those are the next levels I like to the downside for where I would be taking positions.
There you go.
And now RGTZ just hit 28. Man, oh man, is that getting
That was such a good trading vehicle too.
It still is. It's not finished.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, you know what? You're right. You're right.
Let's see. Tesla. Oh, that's not good. They recalled the Powerwall. That's been kind of their whole, ecosystem for the home. You got the solar power, the Powerwall, and then you got the Tesla in the garage, the vehicle.
Now, traditional Tesla recalls in the past have ended up being buying opportunities, but those have mostly been recalls on some of the vehicles. We'll see if it's the same thing. Tesla recalls the Powerwall 2 AC battery power system due to fire and burn hazards.
Ooh.
Risk of serious injury or death.
Or property damage. It is attached to a wall.
Yep, that's no bueno.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to fill the gap underneath 400. So there's a gap that we're coming up to. We're pretty close to it, actually. If you look at September 12th to the 15th, that's a weekend gap there. This fills, if we're going to the downside, this fills at 395.94.
Okay.
So I think we're going under 200. I'm sorry, 400 with Tesla.
See anything else here?
Whoever mentioned that NVVE is going to go, great mention. This is looking like it's trying to get up to 60 cents again. Ondas now giving back the fantastic morning that it provided. Might see some support around 630.
Still up 18%. Important to realize. Yeah, was saying, Ryan, the only thing I have been trading recently the past few weeks are pennies, and it's working. I'm glad for you guys. I really am. At least there's something working for you.
Should we review an opportunity for Tesla? Maybe, but here's the thing. I don't think that the selling that we started to see here is over yet. This loss of the 50-day SMA is kind of a big deal. And I think we are going to get that gap fill. I don't know that that's going to be where we reverse and trade back up. But if we do reverse and trade back up, it's still tasked with having to recapture that 50-day SMA that we just lost that was providing support. So it makes the upside seem a little bit more difficult at this stage. And like I said, I don't think the selling's done yet. I think I would just wait on this. This could still go under 375, but we'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We're still just in the first day of losing the 50-day SMA. Great call with NVVE. That just printed a new high of 63 cents. And SGBX continuing lower, still making its way towards that 200 EMA. IDN had a pull that took it beneath VWAP briefly, but it recaptured it. Still doesn't look great. Looks like this area that it found resistance at, about 675, maybe just slightly higher, but 675 area, been providing resistance pretty much all morning, save that one pop above 675 that took us to 695. Looks like this could start to roll over at some point soon.
Does feel a little heavy up here.
Mm-hmm. Well done, your trade, Crow.
Over under number of days until Alex Karp comes out and attacks short sellers again with Palantir moving lower.
Is that in the prediction market?
You know what? Let me check Kelshi.
Let me look at Palantir. It's just funny.
I mean, you asked. I'll try and get you an answer.
Palantir, another one that has lost its 50-day SMA today. This could still. So what's happened with this one? Pretty much since it got over 170, it's on September 18th. 170 has been a pretty good support area for the stock price. Every time that it's tried to go higher, got rejected, and went down, 170 was there to catch it.
So I don't see that on the prediction markets, but there is some notable stuff here. Fed decision in December maintains or pause is 41%, and cut 25 bips is 58%. So it's slightly different than the CME watch tool, a little bit lower. Times person of the year, 39% is for AI, not a person, and 21% is for Jensen Huang. I'm amused by that. AI being the person of the year.
So yeah, Palantir 170. That's a historically important support level, support and resistance level. It looks like. So that's where I would think the price is going to catch a bid down there around 170.
I need to look at these prediction markets more often.
And SGBX down testing the 200 EMA right now. Looks like MGRX is trying to recover from its 200 EMA, still not able to get above it yet. It still has some smaller EMAs to get through as well. Daniel, that I don't think that was me. Somebody else had mentioned NVVE, and then it went.
That was, I believe that was Crow.
Okay, if it was, yeah. So it wasn't me. I appreciate that, Daniel, but that wasn't me. I got to give credit where it's due. You can't wait for a robot to win Person of the Year.
Oh man!
Next year, Optimus will probably be on Time cover.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the Simpsons episode where the inanimate carbon rod wins Person of the Year. Oh man, that's and you're right though. Honestly, that Optimus robot, I would imagine that would be, if AI is in the running, that stupid robot can be in the running.
You were sounding a little robotic there yourself.
Oh, did it?
When you were saying that, it was great. What time frame am I using? Like on my charts, I typically use the 5 minute for trading. I like looking at daily and longer term time frames for investing. I'm not going to touch that right now, but that's a funny one, Nathan. What was that?
I guess I sounded like a robot a little bit.
I don't know. I've never heard a robot sound like that.
Okay, well,
it's like a robot munchkin.
Yes, producer, the inanimate carbon rod. Oh, I'm not going to apologize on here today. Sorry.
Getting a little bit of a reversal with SGBX after it tested the 200 EMA. Going to need to see better volume if it's going to recover some of these levels that it lost. For example, the 65. Going to have to see some pretty good volume here with this one, but it is getting some support in that area of the 200 EMA. Palin, PLTZ hit 695, kind of sideways for the moment. Might get a turnaround here in Palantir. Ruby wants to go. That's RUBI.
That one was on earlier.
Okay, so looking for a break over, 27 cents, maybe? And you know what? There's a large seller in the way at 27, so that must be the spot. And there it is.
Anything attractive off of this?
There it is. Ruby is trying to go. It's trying to go right now. It just had I think about the same high print in the regular session as we did earlier this morning. Is this 27.28? Okay, now we're above the highs. New high. Good call.
Celebrate. This actually looks like this might take out 20, which is your intraday high. This is moving higher off earnings reported last night. Dow is still pulling, and the SPY and the Qs looked like they've stopped here, but they are still down near the lows.
Yeah, I feel that same way, Smoke Tuna. SGBX hasn't looked like it's been doing really well. Nice to see that it's got a bounce, but the volume just isn't where it needs to be. EMA, I use EMAs
Short term.
For trading, and you can also use them on daily and weekly charts, but they're weighted more to the near term, so they're much better for trading and reversals and bounces and things like that. And I think that's David Green uses them for that reason too. But SMAs, I use those laggards for longer term investing.
I would say that one is not better than the other per se. I think they have different applications, and I think 13 and I and David, as you mentioned, use them in a lot of those different applications. On the chart that you're seeing me share right now, it's almost always an intraday chart, and I'm using EMAs. When I go to the big chart, I have SMAs on that.
Yeah, and that's not the way everybody uses them either. It's just the way that I use them, and it has worked for me.
Take care of yourself, Kev. We are about out here, and we do have a hard stop because we have that CBOE, the unveiling the CBOE Magnificent 10 Index. And just as a reminder, it's the Magnificent 7 stocks plus AMD, Broadcom, and Palantir. So it has all of the big ones that everyone is looking to trade. 13, any closing words for the group before we go over to that webinar here?
I just want to echo this little comment that Smoke Tuna made about learning to trade with less indicators. There is such a thing as being overwhelmed with information. And if you keep it simple, it does result in better trading. I absolutely believe that. But
Me too.
Until tomorrow, folks, been a fantastic morning here. Hope you had a good time. Make sure you smash the like on your way out. And I will be back here tomorrow. We'll trade some more. We'll have a good time. And it'll be a great end of our week. I'll see you then. Take care.
All right, 13, really good stuff. As usual, we will have you back to close out the week strong tomorrow. We're out of here, folks. We're going to send you over to the CBOE webinar next. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. See you tomorrow. Take care.